Sports talk and insightful sports commentary.
You knew it!
In other words, it's the show where they all talk a crap load about sports.
Let's go for it!
Now let's introduce your host, a man who lives and breathes and has a passion for sports. A man who breaks everything down in the sports world and gives you everything you need to know. Plus a bunch of stuff you probably don't need, but you'll still enjoy it.
You can't handle the truth!
Here is your host, Dan Kasper.
Prime time! Prime time!
What up, everybody? Good morning and happy Tuesday. Dan Kasper Show on the air. Radio dials. You got a couple of those babies at 105.1 FM and 790 AM. Also available online at sportstalk1051.com. You got your app, Google and Alexa home devices, and the video stream rocking and rolling on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Appreciate you making us a part of your start on this Tuesday morning here. What do we got on the good old game plan here for this morning? Well, Brewers picking up a big win last night. Game 1 of their series against the Dodgers. Brewers, 9 total runs. It looked like it was going to be a pitcher's duel there for a little bit until the bottom of the 5th there when rookie Joey Wiemer hitting a 3-run shot. And then Brewers kind of opening up the gates a little bit more, the floodgates there in the 7th, and putting up 6 in the bottom of the 7th there, and controlling it, and ultimately getting game 1, getting the win in game 1. Freddie Peralta, solid, another quality start, 5th straight quality start for Mr. Freddie Peralta. 6 innings, just 3 hits, 1 earned run, striking out 5. Picking up his 4th win of the season to improve to 4-2, lowering his ERA to a 3.32. So, good night for the Brew Crew last night, taking game 1. They're going to try to do it again tonight. I said good night good night last night for the Brewers. They'll try to do it again tonight with Eric Lauer on the mound. For the Dodgers, you got Noah Syndergaard, who's going to get the ball for the Dodgers. He's 1-3 so far this year, with a 6.32 ERA. So Lauer 3-3, looking for his 4th win of the season as well. We'll recap the game from last night and look ahead to game 2 between the Brewers and the Dodgers. Brewers with that win and get their 20th win of the season to improve to 20-15, still remaining a half game back from the Pirates of Pittsburgh, since Pittsburgh picked up a 2-0 win last night against the Colorado Rockies. So we'll catch up on all that Major League Baseball stuff as well. MLB.com's already got MVP frontrunners. MVP frontrunners are at 34 games into the season, to 36, depending on where your team's at. So, but yeah, they've already got that on there. I was kind of taking a look at it a little bit earlier this morning, and don't worry, there's no Brewers players on there, so don't have that to, I guess, worry about. There's no Brewers listed on there. So, also on the docket here this morning, well, we got some hoops action last night. The Lakers picking up a win. They're now 1 win away from advancing to the Western Conference Finals. The Heat also picking up another win. They're 1 win away from advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals. So they're really, both the Lakers and the Heats, in control of their series right now. Tonight, we've got the 2 series that are tied up at 2 apiece. Philly, 2-2. Boston, I should say, yeah, Philly's Philly and Boston both 2 wins apiece. Game 5, pivotal Game 5 tonight. Then after that, pivotal Game 5 between Phoenix and Denver. The Joker won't be suspended. Good. Better not have been. He is going to be fined after the little shove that he had on the Suns owner the other night. But both these series have been really tight and close series here. So we'll see who gets the advantage in their respective series. Last night in the Stanley Cup playoffs, you had Vegas picking up the win to improve to 2-1 in their series over Edmonton. So the Golden Knights controlling that series in the early part here. Tonight, you've got Carolina and the Devils. Carolina holding on to a 2-1 series lead. And then our Kraken back at it against the Dallas Stars tonight. Kraken holding that 2-1 series lead. So we'll throw a little green and gold chat in here as well. Nothing really, too big out there in terms of Green Bay land. Nothing new or updated or new, breaking news or anything like that. But we'll throw a little green and gold chat into this thing. But it's a Tuesday, and but I should mention we are officially going to get the schedule on Thursday. So I know Peter King mentioned in his column that it might be a little bit delayed, but NFL came out with an announcement yesterday that the schedule will be released on Thursday. So one thing, and normally I would ask this on Thursday, but the thing is, if history shows us anything, that thing's going to be leaked before it officially is released. Parts of the schedule is going to get leaked out, and then you can kind of, keep tabs of it and keep track of it and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to get leaked. Maybe it'll start to get leaked a little bit today, probably a little bit more tomorrow, and especially during the day on Thursday, it's going to get leaked. So with that, and it's kind of a different year for Green Bay, right? No Aaron Rodgers and such. And the big R word out there, are they rebuilding? Are they retooling, reorganizing, reshuffling, whatever the heck you want to use to describe this team? But with the schedule, what's one thing, or what's a couple of things that you're going to be looking for when it comes to the schedule release, or once that schedule starts to get leaked out a little bit? What are some of the things that you kind of pay attention to? What are the first things that you look for when that schedule comes out? And do you think, let me rephrase that, how many primetime games do you think the Packers will initially be scheduled for? Because we know the flex scheduling and all that sort of stuff. But with no Aaron Rodgers, how many primetime games? We're talking the Sunday nights and the Monday nights. And I guess Thursday's counting it too, and everybody's going to get a Thursday game. So, I mean, it's going to be at least one. But over under, let's set the line. Over under, let's say 3.5. I believe the max is it 6? It's 5 or 6. 5 or 6. I'll double check that. But we'll set the line at 3.5. Over under, do you think primetime games that the Packers will get this year? Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, video stream, all that good stuff. So maximum of 5 primetime games. Okay. I just quickly Googled it here. That was from a report last year. So okay, a max of 5. So if you can get a max of 5, let's put that line at 3.5. No, let's put it at, I'm going to change it. Let's just do it. I'm calling it audible right now. Let's just do right in the middle. So if a max of 5, 2.5. We're going to set the line at 2.5. Okay, 2.5. You think Green Bay will get over or under that? A couple other things. I want to kind of have a little bit of a fun thing. So usually we'll do this on Mondays, but we skipped over it yesterday, so I'm going to make up for it today. But one thing that I kind of wanted to start on Mondays, and we did a couple weeks ago, and my bad, I overlooked it yesterday. Little thing that I'm going to call caught my eye. So something that or caught your eye or caught our eye. So well, it's like a sports story, news story, nugget, whatever it could be. Something you find interesting or unique out there. And I got a couple. And I'm going to tell you what they are right now because I'm going to turn them into questions for you because it's a Tuesday. It's a little bit of a toss-up Tuesday. So I want a lot of you listeners chiming in, giving me your thoughts. So a little bit of a fun thing to kind of break up the conversation and have a little fun back and forth here, if you will. But two things caught my eye over the last couple of days here, okay? One, now we heard about this earlier. We heard like the rumors and the rumblings about it. We heard about this, but it got released again because maybe it's going to be going to court here, but a $30 million legal battle between Tiger Woods and his ex-girlfriend has escalated with his ex-girlfriend Erica Herman accusing the golf superstar of beginning their relationship when she was his employee and threatening to fire her if she didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement she now wants voided. She also accused Tiger Woods of having his lawyer break up with her at an airport in October after falsely telling her they were going on a weekend trip. The lawyer then evicted her from Woods's mansion. So that's the part we heard about. But now it's like it's in court documents that were just filed out there. So guys, girls, what was the most awkward breakup story that you ever had? Or I mean, what's the weirdest, most awkward, was it passing a note in 6th grade to your friend to give to the other person or something like that? I mean, I want to hear. I mean, this is I think takes the cake when I mean, I guess it's one advantage of having a lawyer if you wanted to avoid that wanted to avoid the awkwardness of up with somebody, you could have your lawyer do it. But I mean, if you read it's like they drove to the airport together and he told her to stay in the car and talk to his lawyer, and then that's when it happens. Like, dude, I don't know what's you got that, and then you got, Aaron Rodgers doing the whole, well, if you want to get a hold of me, I don't have cell phone reception. He avoided that breakup with Green Bay essentially. Got to FaceTime me. I, I mean, come on now. So yeah, that's one of them out there. The other one, Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is good for a quote once in a while, or a good story, or a fun little thing once in a while. Jim Harbaugh, he the other day he was on it was with Sports Illustrated with an interview, and the article was if the 50 if Harbaugh, what would be another skilled trade, or what would be another job that potentially he would pursue? He said, I'd be a lawnsman. That's what I do. Mowing the lawn is one of the great feelings I have in life. It accomplishes 3 things. I'm clearing my mind or thinking of new plays. I feel good about what I accomplish, and I either make money or I save money. He also went on to say, it makes me sad sometimes when I drive around Ann Arbor. It used to be kids mowing the lawns. I was that kid, out mowing lawns, earning some money. So let me ask you, what was your first job as a kid? First job. Did you mow the lawns like good old Harbaugh? That was one of my first ones. I hated mowing lawn as a kid. But I got to tell you now, being a grown adult, close to 40, which is weird to say, I love love mowing some lawn. Love getting on the rider and mowing some lawn. So I know exactly what Harbaugh is saying there. So let's have a fun little back and forth there. First time job, was it mowing lawns? Are you a big lawnmower like Harbaugh? But also, I want to get a little personal here. Can anybody top Tiger's breakup story of the most awkward breakup story of all time? That's holy moly. But let's get also we'll catch up with RJ Cardinal. We'll talk some Badger stuff coming up a little bit later on, a couple hours from now. We'll catch up on all things going down in Madtown. So let's get things rolling here, though, this morning. Coming up on the leadoff, Brewers dropping 9 runs on the Dodgers last night. Joey Wiemer having himself a pretty darn good game, early part of his career. One of probably his biggest highlights, one of the biggest highlights of his early career. 4 RBIs, career high for him. Freddie Peralta, another solid start, another quality start for Freddie Peralta last night. We'll recap it and look ahead to tonight's game. Eric Lauer on the mound for the Brew Crew. Can the Brewers pick up another W and secure a series win? Let's hit it up. First break, then the leadoff. Brewers talk coming up in just a couple minutes.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Economy Furniture in Chippewa Falls is something that you gotta see. The biggest selection for miles around, 2 jam-packed floors of quality. At Economy, you don't have to wait for a sale. It can be yours immediately. Everyday low prices on the best brand names, and we finance it interest-free. Furnishing the Chippewa Valley since 1950. Economy Furniture's for me.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone can call or text 988 or chat via 988wisconsin.org to get connected to a trained Lifeline counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you are concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
This is Scott Pasak, owner of Colfax Chevrolet. We have a fantastic selection of vehicles in stock, and if you don't see what you're looking for, we will find it for you. We strive to provide an excellent customer experience, so stop in and see what makes Colfax Chevrolet different. Visit both of our lots in downtown Colfax, and for a buying experience completely online, visit colfaxchev.com. It's always a fantastic day at Colfax Chevrolet.
She tossed the keys on the kitchen table and sank down on the couch in satisfaction. A sip of wine, and Amanda knew she had a good day. She used her noodle and helped a small business grow. A small business run by a small family with small kids that can go to college one day. That's what Amanda had a hand in. And with a quiet smile on her face, she knows she gets to do that all over again tomorrow. There's something kind of cool about a job where you get to do that. Instead of running around with a briefcase selling people things they don't need, Amanda gets to help small businesses be better businesses, successful businesses. If that itch to help is in you, you might be the next Amanda, the next person we choose to bring on in our sales and marketing department at Midwest Family Broadcasting. Call Dan and tell him about yourself. 852-2658, 852-2658. Midwest Family Broadcasting. We're an equal opportunity employer.
The Shoe Doctor is known for quality footwear. Remember, the Shoe Doctor can keep your feet comfortable during all the different outdoor weather and activities here in the Chippewa Valley. Work boots, casual shoes, sandals, and more. From brands you trust like Keen, Merrill, Chaco, and Dansko, and that's just to name a few. Located on Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire, you can also visit them online at ShoeDoctorFootwear.com. The Shoe Doctor, quality footwear for work, sport, and fun.
Hey, let me ask you, how do you like your coffee? Hot or cold? Black or maybe a little cream and sugar? You know what? It doesn't matter how you take your coffee because it's your coffee. Maybe you mix it up every once in a while to keep things unique and fresh. That's why at Cabin Coffee in Altoona, they have a wide selection of options for you to choose from. Whether you're in the mood for a blended frappe or an Americano, Cabin Coffee has the coffee that you are in the mood for. So head on over to River Prairie in Altoona and grab your coffee of choice at Cabin Coffee. And like they say on their cups, just be happy and have fun.
He's smart, informed, entertaining, and he knows his sports. In other words, he's the kind of guy I'd like to settle down with in a small, cozy cabin in the woods. That is, if he was a woman with a case of cold ones. The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Today would be a good day to head on over to Hy-Vee because today there's running a 20-cent fuel saver on every $20 spent today. So you would earn 20 cents fuel saver with every $20 you spend on groceries. That's going to be every Tuesday in May. Every Tuesday in May. So today's a perfect day maybe to head on over to Hy-Vee, grab some Dan Good Burgers, grab some brats from Mike's Star Market that are over there now at Hy-Vee, or whatever groceries you need. Take advantage of that 20 cent per gallon savior. That's a heck of a deal. So head on over to Hy-Vee, our good friends from Hy-Vee, and load up on these 20 cent Tuesdays that they got going on here. And I have to go over there later on this morning and load up the grocery carts and take advantage of that. No doubt about it. Heck yeah, that's a fantastic deal. So, all right, let's get things rolling here this morning. All right, lead off. Now meet some Joey Weimer. Last night's career best 4 RBIs for the youngster, who probably getting more extended playing time this year with the injuries. Garrett Mitchell. I think with Garrett Mitchell being out has extended Joey Weimer's stay up in the big leagues and such, but didn't make the opening day roster. Injuries and that kind of affected that. And, for a rookie, been a little bit up and down here, which is, to be expected and such. But when you look at, Joey Weimer's numbers so far this year, he's hitting 221, batting average of a 221. And now he's got 3 home runs to his number and 11 RBIs total. His OPS is a 671, on base of a 296. You look at his last 20 at-bats, which include last night. I mean, he's just hitting 200, slugging 400, on base of a 238. But, he's a rookie, he's a youngster. We should probably expect there's going to be some highs and there's going to be some lows. And definitely last night was a big high for the youngster with his home run, 3-run shot, then followed up with another double and 4 total RBIs. So he's definitely one of the players of the game last night for Joey Weimer, or for the Brewers. So good to see the youngster get involved. Good to see him have a good night. Hopefully that's something that he can kind of build upon and continue to maybe have a fruitful career for the Brew Crew. But also Freddie Peralta last night. Dude has been, can we say maybe Mr. Consistent? Him and Wade Miley kind of leading the charge here for the starting pitchers for the Brewers. Picking up his 4th win of the season. Freddie Peralta, another quality start for the young pitcher last night. And he looked good going up against this Dodgers lineup. Brewers coming off of a tough stretch on the road on the West Coast against Colorado and the San Francisco Giants. You come home and then you got to face the Dodgers. Freddie Peralta was up for that challenge last night, just giving up 3 hits and 1 earned run. Gotta love it, man. Also, Willie Adames hitting a home run last night. Taylor. So the bats came alive for the Brew Crew. That was something we were talking about a little bit yesterday. Is like, get these bats going and help out this pitching staff. And for about half the game, the first half of the game, it looked like it was going to be another darn pitching duel here, and who was going to kind of screw up first? Who was going to give up the first run? Well, it was Tyler Gonsolin going up against Joey Weimer, and then the floodgates kind of opened up for the Brewers after that, heading into the seventh, and they put up those 6 runs in the seventh inning. So let's keep this offense going. Let's get the mojo going here. Not expecting 9 runs for every single game. It'd be flipping awesome. Be really awesome if they could do that. But let's get some more support for this pitching staff. Let's get some consistency within this offense. Brewers total of 8 hits last night. Weimer had a couple. Taylor had a couple. Willie Adames had his home run. Yelich picked up a couple of RBIs. He's up to a 242. The thing is, we focus a lot on Christian Yelich and his offense, and rightfully so. I mean, they paid him. They paid him to be, or because of his bat, what he was doing with his bat. That's the reason he got the big old contract. But right now, Christian Yelich is, by the numbers, one of the best left fielders in defensive run saves in Major League Baseball right now. He made another nice sliding catch last night in the field there. And when you're looking at it, Christian Yelich, heading into that game too, led all left fielders in defensive runs saved. And that was that sliding catch he made to rob Mookie Betts of a hit. So, Yelich, that might be one thing that kind of gets overlooked and doesn't get talked a whole lot about has been his defensive play so far in left field. And I get it because, again, the big contract, the contract that he signed is for his offensive numbers. That's what they're paying him for. But I guess at least he's getting the work done in the field there. But, hey, give him a little bit of credit there. He did have a little bit of I think he bobbled the liner there. But nonetheless, so far this year, he has been pretty darn solid in left field. Okay, so looking ahead to tonight's game here. Brewers, game 2 with the Dodgers. Eric Lauer on the mound. Can Eric Lauer pick up his 4th win of the season, join Freddie Peralta in that 4-win club for the Brew Crew? They got Noah Syndergaard, the long time, was with the Mets there for a little bit. Now he's with the Angels for a hot minute. Now he's with the Dodgers. But he's just 1-3 so far this year, Noah Syndergaard. 6.32 ERA. And he's coming off of a win, his only win of the season, which was against the Cardinals on April 30th. In that game, he went 5 1/3, gave up 8 hits, 3 earned runs. But the game before that, a couple games before that, 25th against Pittsburgh, it was a no decision for him, but gave up 7 earned runs in that outing. 7 earned runs. And the game before that against the Mets, he picked up the loss. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs in that outing, and 5 hits. When you look at the Brewers lineup going up against Noah Syndergaard, you got a couple of guys here that have some experience against him. Christian Yelich being the main one. He's got 20 at bats against Noah Syndergaard throughout his career, including a home run, hitting .250 against him. Willie Adames has 15 at bats, hitting Brian Anderson. It's Brian Anderson with 15 at bats, hitting .133 against him. Then you got Voit with 8 at bats, hitting .250. On the flip side, you got the Dodgers with a little bit more experience going up against Lauer, and a lot of that too could be with Lauer's time with the Padres. You got some longtime Dodgers, so they're a little bit more experienced with Lauer there. And for the most part, it's kind of a mixed bag of results here. You got Barnes, who's in 14 at bats, so is hitting .357 against him. Mookie Betts in 10 at bats, 200. Freddie Freeman 8 at bats, 250. Max Muncy, 18 at-bats, has a couple of home runs and 278 against him. Taylor, 23 at-bats, 130. So you got a little bit of a mixed bag here with the Dodgers lineup going up against Eric Lauer. Now, Eric Lauer, as we mentioned, is 3-3 so far this year. If you're looking at, his last couple outings, he's coming off of 2 straight losses. And these 2 straight losses are coming off of that really, really good game he had against Seattle back on April 19th. April 19th, he went 7 2/3, picked up the win, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. Since then, though, he followed that up with a game against Detroit and went 3 innings, just 3 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs. And then Colorado on the 3rd, he picked up the loss, but in terms of earned runs, he got charged with 0. So he went 4 2/3, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, but did walk 4, did issue 6 strikeouts. So Lauer is going to be looking to get off this, doesn't want to go 3 straight games, 3 straight starts, with a loss on there. So, but that's kind of how he's been pitching in his last couple of games here. And when you look at his numbers and compare it to his career numbers, I mean, they're kind of on par here for the most part. His ERA so far this year is a 4.40, which is career-wise a little bit high. He's a career 4.12. It'll probably even itself out. But then you look at the 2021 and 2022, those were the 2 years where he actually, ERA-wise, were 2 of the best years of his career. Go back to 2021, he was a 3.19 ERA. 2022 last year, 3.69. Last year, 11-7. 2021, 7-5. So we'll see what Lauer, who has, again, a lot of experience going up against the Dodgers and some of these players in this Dodgers lineup, that's an advantage for him, or is that an advantage for some of the for the Dodger hitters? We'll see. First pitch tonight, 6:40. You could catch that game on 105.1 FM and 790 AM. Yeah, I know we kind of had a little. I mentioned MLB.com. It's got that article up of it's never too early for MVP front runners. Well, yeah, I think it kind of is, but it's a fun little, I guess, column and blog or whatever. What do they still call them, columns? Or are they just pretty much all blogs now, whatever? If it's on the internet, is it just referred to as a blog? I know some of the old school writers still call it as a column, but is it? I don't know. Guess it doesn't matter. But anyways, American League, no big surprise. Ohtani ran away with it. Shohei Ohtani. National League, it's not even close either. Ronald Acuna Jr. got the most votes for the Braves. Second would be Sean Murphy, also from the Braves. So there you have it. Okay. Tell you what, let's take a quick break here. And then coming up next, I put that line at 2.5. 2.5 with the football schedule slated to, the NFL schedule slated to officially come out on Thursday. I know today's Tuesday, but we know we're probably, if history proves anything, we're going to start to hear some leaks, maybe as soon as today. Probably for sure we're going to get a couple of them tomorrow, but by the time they make their big old announcement on Thursday night, we know it's going to be leaked out before then. Like, you can follow all the writers and Twitter stuff and Facebook and all that, and it's going to be leaked out, and you can kind of build it yourself that way before it's officially released. But knowing that it's going to be leaked and some of the games are going to be leaked, I threw out a couple of questions for you out there. One, when it comes to the schedule, what are some of the things you look for when that schedule comes out? What are you looking at when the bye week is? Are you looking at how many noon games? Whatever it is. Everybody's kind of different. And then Second, if we set the line at 2.5, over under 2.5 primetime games for Green Bay this year, do you think, initially? Because we know it could change with the flex scheduling and all that stuff. But with no Aaron Rodgers as the starter, do you think the NFL will still give Green Bay the max 5 primetime games? Or do you think they're going to take a hit this year with primetime? So if the max is 5, we'll set that line at 2.5. Over under 2.5 primetime games. Get your magic 8 balls out, get your crystal balls out, and have a little fun with this one. All right. So you can hit me up with a quick tweet at DANKASPER, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports and such. We'll take a quick break and then we'll have a little fun with this football schedule. Wonder when we're going to get that first league. I think we'll get one today.
180! The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
How have you been getting ready for the golf season this year? Heading to the range and hitting a bucket of balls? Maybe working on your putting on that putting green that you have in the basement, or maybe doing some chipping in the backyard. Now, we could tell the evidence is there with all the divots, but one important aspect of making sure your golf game is up to par this year, see what I did there, is by making that appointment with Shepke Chiropractic. So you want to make sure that you get your back and the rest of your body right when you're hitting the courses this season, because we don't want to hear that the reason your scores aren't great this year is because your back is too tight. And a really cool feature with Shepke Chiropractic is that they are also Titleist Performance Institute certified. So for example, if you're looking to get chiropractic care done, but you also want a swing analysis on your golf swing, they offer that. To learn more and to see the different packages available, just visit ShepkeChiropractic.com. Your journey to a healthier, more fulfilling life starts here, and an improvement in your golf game. Make your appointment at Shepke Chiropractic today.
Get ready to save half with half-off deals. A great way for you to get goods and services that you will love, and you don't have to pay full price. Start saving this Friday, May 11th, with Triple T Tanning Activewear and more, Star Lymph Active Treatment, and Turtle Lake Stay and Play Casino Package. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save with this week's half-off deals. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to AroundThe715.com.
Hi, my name is David, and I'm one of the owners of a successful family-owned business called Northland Buildings. Growing up on a dairy farm in northern Wisconsin, I learned from my dad the values of putting in a good, honest day's work and not quitting until all the chores were done right. That meant recognizing quality in everything we did on that farm. And that ethic is now the core values at Northland Buildings. I guarantee, as the CEO, you won't find a higher quality post-frame building than ours. We do everything we can to use building materials based and manufactured right here in the Midwest. If you built one of our buildings in the past 30 years, you know the quality I'm talking about. And we want to say thank you for trusting your animals and equipment to the protection and housing you get in a Northland building. All the information you need is at northlandbuildings.com. Built tough for the Northland.
Northland Building.
Shop Menards for great Mother's Day gifts. Brighten Mom's Day and summer with 10-inch hanging flower baskets. Just $9.99 after rebate. And with 11% off all lawn and garden decor. Whiskey barrel planters are $9.99 after rebate. Mother's Day cards start at $3.28 after rebate. Good through May 14th, savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Menards gift cards also make a great gift this Mother's Day, May 14th.
Save big money at Menards.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. The Army National Guard has taught me the value of showing respect to those I come in contact with each day. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed and accomplish the mission. Plus, the Army National Guard education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Stand by as we continue our dig for the truth and the toy at the bottom of the cereal box.
Oh, got it.
The Dan Kasper Show.
Hey, college students or parents or whoever you are, if you're getting ready to move or do some moving because, it's summertime and springtime, I know some people are getting ready to move. And if you're looking to maybe unload on some of that furniture, whether it's a couch, chair, desk, or anything like that, instead of putting it on the curb or maybe putting it up on Facebook Marketplace or anything like that, how about you help out your local community here a little bit more and donate it to the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity, Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore, because your donation will help the restore, where sales then go to help fund home builds for families in need in our area. And hey, maybe you that was trying to find a little new couch or a little desk or something like that, and you're trying to scour the curbsides or maybe Marketplace or anything like that, stop on over at the Restore, because you never know what kind of treasures they'll have and see what they all have in stock. And do yourself a favor and follow and like their Facebook page, because once in a while they'll post up some pictures and you can, like, hey, call dibs on that one on their Facebook page. So if you are getting ready for moving season, whether you are a college student or maybe just somebody that is moving into a new home and you maybe downsizing a little bit, or you need some extra furniture for that man cave, take a look at the Chippewa Valley Habitat for Humanity Restore, located at 145 North Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire. To answer your text, Ben, I did see this article up on MLB.com, the history of the baseball cap. I have not had a chance to read it. I am a connoisseur collector of ball caps, so I'll definitely have to take a look at this one. I love a good ball cap. I need some more ball caps to add to the collection, though. I don't have that main go-to one. You know what I mean? I just need that main go-to one. That I got a couple that are always just ones I can just grab, and just put on and whatever. I need that main go-to one, my favorite one. I don't have a favorite one, so I'll have to check that one out. Thanks for sending that over, Ben. Though, I'll have to. I haven't read it. I'll have to check it out a little bit later on. G-Man, he's going for 2 primetime games for the Packers. His first job was delivering the paper in 1970, back in my day in my neighborhood. That was G-Man. We were asking that question because Jim Harbaugh, told Sports Illustrated if he wasn't a coach, he'd be a lawnsman, mowing lawns. He loves mowing the lawn, and it makes him sad that he doesn't see as many kids mowing the lawn as maybe back in the day and such. And I'm sure a lot of people, or maybe in your youth, your first job was mowing the lawn, or here in Wisconsin, maybe it was even shoveling a neighbor's driveway or something like that. That was one of my first jobs. My first job, I was at, I've told this before, Easy Stop, pumping. I was a full service gas station, so I was pumping gas for people, but also I did mow lawns too in the summer. That was mostly in college, though. That's when I started doing that, mowing lawns for the Forest Department. So, but my first one was pumping gas, full service gas station, old school, and then mowing the lawns for the Forest Service. Hated it as a kid. Now with a rider, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. The only thing is I wish my lawn looked fantastic like a lot of people's lawns. I got that creeping Charlie crap that I can't get rid of it. I've tried poisoning and all that, and I can't get rid of that stuff. But anyways, getting off on a tangent there. Schedule release coming out on Thursday, but we know it's going to be leaked prior. Some of the games are going to be leaked prior. So with that being said, I normally would probably save this for Thursday, but knowing that it's probably going to be leaked, and I think we're maybe hear a couple of them today, more so tomorrow, and especially Thursday morning. But what are some of the things you look for when that schedule comes out? And if we set the line at 2.5 with a max of 5 primetime games for the green and gold, we'll set that line at 2.5. Do you think they'll get more or below? More or below 2.5? The things that I look for in my when, or at least when the schedule comes out for me, 1 is the bye week. 2, where are their games around hunting season? I know I've mentioned this before, but hunting season, the deer gun season, been getting kind of lucky in the last couple of years here where, they've either had a Monday night game or like this past year they had the Thursday night game. It was a Thursday before the opener, which was just fantastic. I was good with that one. I was really good with that one. So I always look at where do they play that opening weekend of the deer gun season. That's like my second one I look at. Then like the third would probably be primetime games. How many games do I have to stay up late for? Now that's I'm getting up at like 3:00 in the morning and such. So what are those games, those late ones you have to stay up for and watch? That's where I'll be curious for this year with that schedule. How many primetime games do they have? Will it go down? Because it was kind of a safe bet that Green Bay was probably going to get 5 primetime games with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback. It was going to happen. I'll be curious. Green Bay is still a brand for the NFL. It's a big-time brand for the NFL. Will they still give them that 5? Or will they take away a few of them and kind of see how Jordan Love goes? Because this is why we're asking initially when that first schedule comes out. We know that they can flex schedules. So initially, where will it be? They know Green Bay is a good brand, but with an unknown quarterback right now, will they give them the benefit of the doubt? So, again, to recap, I look at bye week, deer gun season. When's that game around there? The primetime games, and probably when do the dome or warm weather teams come to Green Bay? So, like Minnesota, are they coming to Green Bay when it's warm or cold out? Detroit, any other warm weather teams like this year? They've got they've got the AFC West and such. And then probably when they go to Chicago, because if it's later on in the season there, will they go when it's like windy? You got that wind effect and the lake effect wind and all that stuff. So I don't know what you mean by the NFL scheduling a game with the Jets. Or I don't know what you mean by that. With the dorky NFL scheduling a game with the Jets. We already know who the Packers' opponents are. Those were released a while ago, so I don't know if that's what you're referring to. We already know who the opponents are, and Green Bay's not playing the Jets this year. They play the AFC West. So, don't know if that's what you were referring to or not. But those opponents were already predetermined a while ago. I think my line is going to be at... I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 3 because we know it's going to be 1 for sure on Thursday night because they count those as prime times. And I think a lot of them might be in the beginning part of the... maybe not. I don't want to say that because initially I was going to say they would probably be at the beginning, but maybe they might push them towards the end just to be safe that, hey, maybe Green Bay's not going to be that good and Jordan Love's struggling, so they don't want to have a primetime game so they could flex that out at the back half of the schedule. So I think initially it's going to be 3. I'll put it there with the 1 guarantee on Thursday. They'll get a Monday night game, and then they'll get a Sunday night game scheduled on there. And maybe the Thursday game is going to be the Thanksgiving one. When was the last time? You know what? Let's make that our pop quiz trivia question because I just thought of it too. I have to look it up. You guys don't look it up, though. Pop quiz trivia, Tuesday pop quiz. When was the last time the Packers played on Thanksgiving? Can you name it off the top of your head without looking it up? I have to look it up. You can't, but give me the year. See if anybody can correctly guess it. When was the last time the Packers played on Thanksgiving? All right. Text me your answers, 715-830-1912. Surveyor, my agreement with my parents growing up was if I mowed the lawn, I got to go golfing. I mowed the lawn a minimum of 3 times a week. Nice. All right. Coming up next hour, we'll do some sports nuggets of the day. We'll go through some of your pop quiz trivia question. It is also a Grind My Gears Tuesday. So if you got anything that's grinding your gears, you can let us know. This is your day to get it off your chest with a little Grind My Gears. Anything bugging with you that you want to tell the rest of the class? Hit us up with those texts, tweets, or Facebooks, or you could comment on the video stream as well. So we'll hit that up. We'll catch up with RJ Cardinal. More Badgers chat with him. Coming up at about 8:20 this morning. We got a little bit of a gap. Usually we would catch up with the Steel on Tuesdays. Their season's over with. We're going to be replacing that with the Express, but that'll be in a couple weeks when we get a little bit closer to their season starting, which is at the end of the month. Don't forget, I want to remind you, too, that we did open up a few slots for the third annual Kasper Classic. It's easier to register this year. Just head to our website, sportstalk1051.com, and then right on the homepage, you'll see that icon on there, and it'll take you to our store, 715 store, and we've opened up a few slots for the 9 a.m. and the 1 p.m., the morning and the afternoon tee times on there. So because we've sold out the last couple of years here, now's your time to get an early bird sign up. All right. So sign up your 2-person team, even if you're golfing, but maybe you don't know that other person yet and you got to decide it, you can sign up your team. One thing here too, we're looking for team names. If you don't have a team name picked out, you can just put your last name on there if you'd like. So, but that's available at sportstalk1051.com. Let's say good morning to Morgan. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, you got your pop quiz question floating out there about the last time the Packers played Thanksgiving?
Yep.
So while people are thinking about that answer, got another pop culture pop quiz for you, but you can handle this one.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not exactly on the Thanksgiving table, but when was the last time you had donuts for breakfast? Like, are you a donuts for breakfast kind of person?
I like donuts. They're not healthy for me, so I've kind of backed off on it.
Okay, but if you could pick, like if you didn't think about all those pesky nutritional details, what's your favorite donut from the
my
bakery
favorite
bag?
donut?
Yeah.
I don't know if they still call them this, honeymooners.
What's that?
I asked Bob this, and he said he knew what they were. So I didn't know if it was a Medford thing.
Okay.
But what it is it's a donut.
Yeah.
And it was always just like chocolate frosting on the top.
Yeah.
But then in the hole, there was like whipped cream and then a cherry on top.
Oh, see, I'm all about like with the pudding filled. I like
the
those.
custard and all
Yes,
that?
I like
Yeah.
those, like the Boston cream donuts. That's the jam.
Yeah, mine were. I don't know if they were. We called them honeymooners. Bob knew what I was talking about when we just asked
That
about
sounds
this.
like a
couple
good Bob
days, but
donut. Yeah.
but
That sounds like something he would know about a little bit.
Mhm.
So we are going to ask you a little bit more about donuts then while we're at the bakery case. Just some easy little sweet details to get you going on a Tuesday. Speaking of honeymooners with the whipped cream and the cherry, there's actually a place called Voodoo Donut. Have you heard of this place? And they do kind of like all funky off-center kind of donuts. They had one that was coated with a medicine. What did they coat it with?
Coated with a medicine. Where was this from?
I think this is
Would it be
West
New
Coast. No.
Okay, I was thinking Voodoo, New
Yeah.
Orleans sort of thing. West Coast.
I'm pretty
medicine?
sure it's Oregon based, so it's West Coast. It doesn't. Yeah, Voodoo Donuts
So,
is the name of the bakery.
Legit medicine.
Yeah, they do like wild donut flavors. That's kind of their thing, like their
Well,
signature.
I'm saying Oregon.
No, there's no
over the
oregano on
counter.
top.
Okay, yeah, no, thank you
mm-mm.
for that.
Mhm.
Ibuprofen.
It was marketed to customers who had too much to drink and wanted a snack easy on the stomach the next day, covered in Pepto-Bismol. What do you think about that? Donut
No.
covered in Pepto? No?
No.
All right, then
Chicken strips are the way to go when you're not having a rough night.
red Gatorade and a handful of Aleve, man. Right before bed. And
I'm not a fruit punch red Gatorade person.
no, what color Gatorade?
Orange, grape, or I'll go green and blue.
I tell you, I've been lugging cases of that stuff to track kids in middle school. Red's the way. Everybody wants the red Gatorade
I'm
or
not a
blue
fruit punch.
or the light blue.
I'm
Everybody's
not a
into
fruit
that.
punch guy.
Donuts that are made of potatoes instead of flour have a special name. If you make potato donuts instead of flour donuts.
Isn't
What do you
it
call
a German thing?
You either make them with mashed potato or a potato starch. It's not a German
Okay.
name necessarily. They have
Okay.
like a nickname. Spud nuts.
Oh, jeez.
I know. It sounds kind of dirty though.
It does.
Hey, cover your spud nuts up if you're going to be in here. It's a family restaurant.
Man. All right.
I can tell you this though, we can airy fried dough fritters, slightly different than American donuts. So ours are circles. In France, they make a slightly different variation, and they're called pets de non. You know what that stands for? I'm not making this up. It sounds like a kindergarten joke, but it's not. Pets de non.
I have no idea.
It translates to nun's farts. I'm just letting you know.
So
Maybe that's what
kindergartner.
honeymooners are in France. You never know.
Never know. It is chocolate and white whipped cream. You know?
Yeah,
There you go.
it could
Yep.
be. Cherry on top.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 newsroom, it's Morgan McCarthy with your news on Sports Talk 105.1.
Well, good morning. We begin with headlines and updates from the St. Croix County area. The man suspected of killing a deputy was a convicted rapist and registered sex offender with a history of violence. Prison officials in Minnesota yesterday said 34-year-old Jeremiah Johnson was out on parole for a 2016 kidnapping and rape conviction when police say he gunned down St. Croix County Deputy Katie Lysing. Johnson had a long criminal history, including a stabbing in 2007 and numerous fights while in prison. Investigators say he shot and killed Deputy Lysing during a drunk driving stop Saturday and is believed to have then shot himself about an hour later. Funeral arrangements for Deputy Lysing pending. Expected to get more details later today. Yesterday's house explosion being blamed on gas as firefighters were on scene afternoon about 1 o'clock on the city's south side. No one home there, no one hurt, but firefighters and crewmen from Excel said there was a buildup of combustible gas in the house. The explosion knocked the windows of the home out, did about $100,000 in damage. No one, however, saying just where that gas leak did come from. Well, around the table and to the courts, former Eau Claire County DA Gary King no longer facing federal civil rights complaint. It was a federal judge that dismissed the lawsuit filed by the victim witness coordinator for the county during King's time as DA, as she claimed he drunkenly sexually harassed her. The dismissal comes after a meeting back in March that reportedly ended with a settlement. No one, however, saying just how much that settlement was. Well, if you happen to file taxes with TurboTax, they could be sending you money. So if you used TurboTax to file income taxes a couple of years ago, you could expect a check from the state of Wisconsin. Look at it a little bit closer here. Attorney General Josh Call said Wisconsin will get just over $2.4 million from a $141 million multi-state settlement with TurboTax. More than 81,000 people here in Scotty can claim a piece of the settlement. The checks will be about $30 each, but you're eligible for your refund if you paid TurboTax to file taxes in 2016, 17, or 18. And you should have been eligible for the IRS's free filer program. You can find more details online when you easy click at 715newsroom.com. And the happiest place on earth is getting rid of reservation requirements. Let's go to the Sunshine State.
Guests will no longer need a reservation for date-based tickets at Disney World in Orlando thanks to their own feedback. That'll take effect at the beginning of 2024. Visitors will only need to buy a ticket for a specific date, but won't need to make reservations for any of the specific parks. That's in addition to the new rule that annual pass holders can visit any of Disney's Orlando theme parks after 2 p.m. without a reservation. I'm Rick Hochul.
You know, it's really nice. Casper's kind of loosened up around here lately, and I can come in the studio now.
After 2 p.m. without a reservation.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
Today, we kickstart a shift in our weather pattern. Now, we may be starting off with some cloud cover, but we'll have some peaks of sunshine later on. A stray shower is also possible, but temperatures climbing to the low 70s. Tonight, a few more clouds start to stream in, eventually resulting in another chance at some showers dipping to the mid-50s. More sunshine in store for tomorrow, climbing to the mid to upper 70s, and a chance at hitting 80 on Thursday. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
Yesterday, Congressman Tom Tiffany hosted a Farm Bill Roundtable in Loyal at Northside Elevator. Let's take a look at some of our farm news on Sports Talk 105.1 and AM 790. A number of Wisconsin farmers shared the topics they think need to be included in the 2023 Farm Bill. Everything from dairy to conservation to the nutrition program to farm exports, and much more. Tiffany will take that information back to Washington, D.C. and offer it to the Republican-controlled Farm Ag Committee in the House Agriculture Committee. Agriculture businesses and organizations also came to the table with suggestions for the 2023 Farm Bill. That event, though, was not open to the public. U.S. pork exports in March were the largest since May of 2021. That's according to data compiled by the U.S. Meat Export Federation and released by the USDA. Over 260,000 metric tons of pork were exported in March. That's 17% more than last March and the ninth largest volume on record. Export value is up 18% from a year ago to $724 million. And beef exports improved a little bit in March after a slow start in 2023. U.S. foreign beef sales total over 120,000 metric tons in March, but that was down 5% from a year ago. Export value down 17% to $893 million, but both volume and value were the highest in 5 months. Beef exports to Mexico, the Dominican Republic, and the Philippines increased in March compared to a year ago. South Korea imported less beef than last year, but it was still their highest volume in the past 10 months. China, Hong Kong bought more beef than they had in 6 months this past March. And Wisconsin remains the top cheese-producing state. Cheesemakers in Wisconsin made over 302 million pounds in March, up 30 million pounds when compared to February. That's a look at our farm news this morning on Sports Talk 105.1 and AM 790. I'm Bob Bosold.
This is Scott Pasak, owner of Kofak Chevrolet. We have a fantastic selection of vehicles in stock, and if you don't see what you're looking for, we will find it for you. We strive to provide an excellent customer experience, so stop in and see what makes Kofak Chevrolet different. Visit both of our lots in downtown Colfax, and for a buying experience completely online, visit KofakChev.com. It's always a fantastic day at Kofak Chevrolet.
Want to stop engine problems before they start? Pick up a can of Seafoam motor treatment. Seafoam helps engines start easier, run smoother, and last longer. Just pour it in your fuel tank. Seafoam is available where automotive products are sold.
Crank it up.
Are you ready today? Get up! He's on his way. He's our man. The man, the myth, the legend. That's Dan.
And now, the Dan Kasper Show.
All right, second hour kicking off on this Tuesday morning. Appreciate you all tuning in, however, wherever you may be checking in from here this morning on May 9th. Coming up, we'll get back to some more of your texts, your tweets, your comments on the video stream and such. We'll get back to some more Brewers talk as well. Brewers game 2 tonight. Eric Lauer on the mound. Noah Syndergaard going up for the Dodgers. So we'll hit that up. We'll preview tonight's game. Can the Brewers, with a win tonight, secure a series win against the Dodgers? Hopefully, maybe. Never know, right? Taking your predictions over under. We put that line at 2.5 for the prime time schedule. How many primetime games will the Packers get? NFL will officially, quote, officially release the schedule on Thursday. It was announced yesterday. But if history proves anything, that whole thing will get leaked beforehand. So that's why we're throwing out the question this morning. How many prime games do you think Green Bay is going to get? Do you think, the max is 5? Do you think they'll take a hit with no Aaron Rodgers on her? Or do you think that Packers brand is still strong in the NFL eyes? So they're going to initially give them 5 with the flexibility to flex out of that, maybe at the back half of this schedule. I went with 3. We got a couple 2s and a couple of other 3s out there too. So that seems to be the popular pick out there. Also, what are the main things you look for when it comes to the schedule? Our pop quiz question, I threw it out there. When was the last time the Packers played on Thanksgiving? Because it seems like it's been a bit, and it has, because I didn't know it off the top of my head. I had to look it up. You had to go back to 2015. That was the Thanksgiving game against the Bears that Thursday night when Bart Starr was back. Favre's number was being unveiled. It was that game. It was rainy over in Green Bay on Thursday. I'm sure some of you listening were probably at the game, but Packers lost that one 17-13. Remember that? It was that long ago, 2015, according to when I quickly Googled it and that. I mean, Jay Cutler was still playing for the Bears. Eddie Lacy was running the football for the Packers. He had 105 yards that day. Alshon Jeffrey was leading receiver for the Bears that night too. So, yeah, it's been since 2015. I kind of wonder if Green Bay is going to get that Thanksgiving Day game now, since it's been a hot minute. I don't know, but do you like it when the Packers play at Thanksgiving? If the Packers are your favorite team, I mean, this is just a question for. I guess I can rephrase it. Do you like it when your favorite team's playing on Thanksgiving, or would you rather just have some other random games on there, kind of check in and out? I'm more worried about the food that day, or maybe sitting in the woods, taking advantage of deer hunting. I'm more of the type I'd rather not play on Thanksgiving just because there's a lot going on. I feel like there's just a lot kind of going on, so I'm good if they don't play. I'm good. And I don't need my stress level high on Thanksgiving when I'm already chowing down on a lot of food, to be honest with you. So, all right, let's do some sports nuggets of the day brought to you by Yancey Associates. 1945 in the United States, the wartime government ban on horse racing was lifted. We've got Johnny Bench, 1973, hit 3 home runs in a game. It was the second time he had achieved the feat. Remember we mentioned this yesterday, but it concluded today. 1984, the White Sox beat the Brewers 7-6 in 25 innings. The game took 8 hours and 6 minutes to complete. We've got what else do we want to hit up on here? 1993, the Phoenix Suns beat the Lakers 112-104 in overtime to become the first NBA team to lose 2 playoff games at home and then come back to win 3 straight. If you remember, if you're a Hoops fan, you remember that Paul Westphal, the coach for the Suns, actually guaranteed that it was after those 2 losses, went out there and guaranteed that they would win the series, and they did it. He went out there, he called a shot, and his shot was right. He nailed it. 1995, Cleveland Indians tied a record when they recorded 8 runs before making an out. They beat the Minnesota Twins 10-0. Anything else? I think that's about. Dallas Braden pitched the 19th perfect game in Major League history on this day in 2010. The Oakland Athletics beat the Tampa Bay Rays 4-0. So those are just some of your sports nuggets of the day, brought to you by Yancey Associates. I threw out the question a little bit earlier too, because Jim Harbaugh, said that if he wasn't couching right now, he would be a lawnsman, mowing the lawn. So just kind of a fun question to break it up in between, serious sports topics and all that. And I threw out, what was your first job? And Harbaugh went on a little thing saying it makes him sad when he's driving around Ann Arbor and he's not seeing, kids mowing the lawn like he did back in the day, or maybe like a lot of us used to do back in the day. So what was your first job, maybe as a youngster and such? I already went through mine, but was it mowing the lawn? How much? And if it was mowing the lawn, I want to know, how much did you get paid? So what was it per lawn? What's the going rate for kids these days for mowing the lawn? Is it $5? Is that too cheap? Is it $10? What 20? What is it? I have no idea. It was just a chore for me. I didn't get paid for it until I was in college and mowing lawns for the Forest Service and that. I just liked putting the official title of groundskeeper on resumes when I was trying to find a job when I was in college and shortly after college. What's the going rate for these days? So we're having a little fun with that one. We had some good answers coming in. A lot of you did say it was, mowing lawn or shoveling driveways. A couple of you said it was working in fast food or in the restaurant industry. A few of you say in retail. working in retail on there too. Anybody got a really good one they want to share? Some of you were saying we had a couple actually saying umpiring Little League games. It's a good one. Yeah. What about the rest of you? Hit us up. Okay. We got another text. I'm excited to find out when the Packers play in Vegas. There will be direct flights out of Eau Claire to Vegas this fall. So I plan on making a trip to Vegas for that game. All right. I like it. That's interesting. You're really I like the fact that you're kind of pre-planning that already and thinking about it in good depth there. That's interesting. I know a couple people going to that Vegas game already. They just don't know when it's going to be, but yeah, I know a couple people that have reached out to me. Oh, was it a couple months ago saying they're going over there. I don't know if that'll be a prime time. I feel like that's going to be the CBS afternoon game with Nance and Romo on there. I feel like CBS is going to stick with that one since it's in Vegas. Who knows? Car parker at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. All right. Farm chores, feeding calves and cows 5 a.m. before school. We got another one. Surveyor, first real job was working at a plant nursery. All right. Good ones. Keep those coming. Also, we kind of threw in, because this was a part of our what caught my eye. So there's the and we heard rumblings about this earlier. But now with like court documents filed on Friday, it was also revealed that Tiger Woods broke up with his ex-girlfriend by driving her to the airport, saying they were going, I think it was to the Bahamas, and then told her to wait in a car, and then his lawyer came over and broke up with her. So what is the most painful, embarrassing, awkward breakup story that you guys have? Guys or girls, all right? I don't know if anybody can match what Tiger did, sending his lawyer, first of all, driving her to the airport. No, back it up. First of all, telling her, you're going on a trip. We're going to the Bahamas. Pack your bags. Jamaica, wherever the heck it was. Going on a vacay. Pack your bags. Then you drive her to the airport, pull up next to a private jet, and say, hold on, stay in the car. And then his lawyer comes in and breaks up. I have been guilty in my middle school days of, I'm going to embarrass myself and probably lose just the little sliver of respect that maybe I still had out there from anybody. I have been one to just, I kind of just stopped middle school. I remember this. To avoid the awkward situation, I literally just stopped talking to her. So nothing ever became official. Just stopped talking. Nope. It was middle school, immature middle school. Just stopped talking. That's probably the closest one that I've got as awkward. But nobody's going to top Tiger. But if you got a good breakup one or you got an awkward one, I want to hear it. Share it with the rest of the class, okay? If I'm willing to embarrass myself, the rest of you can embarrass yourself too. I don't have to say your name. I don't have to say any names. I can make up some names if you want to keep some dignity and all that. But come on, we all got a good one, right? We've all got a good one out there. Or you've heard a good one. What's the most awkward one? Okay. Picking pickles. That's a job there. $20 per lawn, around $2,000. One of the guys was a sports writer for USA Today, got me NCAA tourney tickets. Duke at the United Center even offered Rose Bowl tickets for free, but couldn't go. Nice. We got detasseling corn, $4.25 an hour. Yeah, I think when I first started being a full service gas attendant, it was like $5.15 an hour. It was $5.15 an hour. And those were the good days. Like if you happened to get a tip from somebody, because usually we didn't. It was actually kind of rare to get a tip. But if somebody gave you like $1 or something like that, it was instant. Go to the soda fridge, grab a Mountain Dew or something, put up the $1 on the counter, because at that time, that's when it was like 95 cents, and then it was like 5 cents tax. Perfect $1. Boom. Didn't have to worry about extra change in your pocket or finding another $1. If you got that $1 tip, it was perfect. Throw it up there, and you had yourself a Mountain Dew. So, yeah. Good times back in the early. Oh, when did I start? That was probably like early around 2000, 2000. Oh, it was 2001. 2001 when I had my first real job, not counting the side gigs and that sort of thing. So, all right, we got some good ones. I'll get back to those coming up just a little bit later on. A lot of you going still. You're taking. I would say it's. Yeah, we set that line at 2.5 for primetime games. And I'd say it's about 50-50 between 2 and 3. So we don't have a majority saying going over or under at this point. It's about 50-50. A lot of you saying you're looking at the bye week for when that Packer schedule does come out, or whoever your favorite team is, if it's Minnesota, Detroit, or Chicago, or whoever it may be. But you're looking at that bye week. That seems to be the common one out there. Another one is the late games. Those seem to be the two big ones for the majority out there. I don't want to read everybody's answer because, well, they're all the same, but I'll just kind of mention that it looks like the majority of you say it are bye week and when are the late games. When are the late games? All right, if you want to chime in on that, you can hit us up with the text 715-830-1912, or find me on Twitter at DANKASPER, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports. James on the video stream said he had 3 primetime games. He's predicting the primetime games. Packers Bears will be a Monday night game. Chiefs Packers would have interest, and then he's going with Vegas and the Packers. The Chiefs one will be at Lambeau too. I think if Aaron were playing, that would be like a deadlock primetime one. But the fact is, Patrick Mahomes at Lambeau, Andy Reid at Lambeau returning. I think that would be a good case for a primetime game. I think you're probably safe to assume that either a Bears or a Vikings one is probably going to be a primetime game, whether it's at Lambeau or on the road. The Vegas one, I still feel like that's a CBS, Jim Nantz, Tony Romo special afternoon game. And then I feel like your Thursday game is going to be some kind of random one. Like, I'm just kind of looking at, maybe like Green Bay versus Carolina, or maybe the Giants or Steelers. I don't know. I just feel Atlanta possibly as a Thursday night. I feel like it's going to be like their Thursday night game is going to be something like that. Like, I don't see Packers Chiefs being a Thursday night game. I don't see like Packers Chargers being a Thursday night game. Even Tampa Bay coming to Lambeau's lost its luster. No Brady, no Rodgers. Baker Mayfield versus Jordan Love. Get pumped up for that. But I don't know. Keep your picks coming. We got some good insight, good thoughts coming through. That's why. Yeah. Okay, here we go. My buddy Scott took his girlfriend to her favorite restaurant and then dumped her. So every time she wanted to go to that restaurant, she would think of him. That's cold. It's from Adam. That is cold. Wow. Okay. That's cold. Another one. I left my. Can I say this one? Can I say it, C-Bomb? I don't know if I can say it. Give me permission to say it. Just let me know, and then I'll say it. But I don't know if you want me to or not. So otherwise, I will. But that one from Adam, that's cold. Not from Adam's buddy, but oof. Yeah. Yikes. And Tiger has the benefit, obviously, because he's got a high-powered lawyer and he can pay him to do whatever the heck he wants because he's Tiger Woods. He can shell out money to do whatever, tell people to do pretty much whatever for him. So, all right. Tell you what, we're gonna get keep your grind my gears coming too. We got a couple more I want to hit up for your grind my gears, including you from Surveyor I don't know, sir. Are you kind of calling out your wife on this one? It sounds like you may be calling out your wife on this one. Got a couple more to hit up as well. So if you want to do a little Grind My Gears Tuesday, you can hit us up with those texts, Facebook, tweets, comment on the video stream and such. All right, so C-Bombs was, I left my wife in Belize and flew home to move out. So, yeah. That's cool, too. Sorry. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll talk some more green and gold schedule coming up. Who is maybe one of these rookies that excites you the most this upcoming season? Hit us up. Let us know. Make your picks.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
The Shoe Doctor is known for quality footwear. Remember, the Shoe Doctor can keep your feet comfortable during all the different outdoor weather and activities here in the Chippewa Valley. Work boots, casual shoes, sandals, and more from brands you trust like Keen, Merrill, Chaco, and Dansko, and that's just to name a few. Located on Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire, you can also visit them online at ShoeDoctorFootwear.com. The Shoe Doctor, quality footwear for work, sport, and fun.
Are you looking to purchase a new vehicle with that tax return this year? Hey, it sounds like you need to make a quick stop to Toyson Ford. From the moment you step into their showroom, you're more than just a customer. You're an honored guest. Toyson Ford's only aim is to serve your needs to the fullest, and the team at Toyson Ford will go the extra mile to provide you with compelling options for new and used vehicle shopping. Purchasing a vehicle, that can be a big decision, and Toyson Ford knows that. So make it easier with the help from Toyson Ford.
She tossed the keys on the kitchen table and sank down on the couch in satisfaction. A sip of wine, and Amanda knew she had a good day. She used her noodle and helped a small business grow. A small business run by a small family with small kids that can go to college one day. That's what Amanda had a hand in. And with a quiet smile on her face, she knows she gets to do that all over again tomorrow. There's something kind of cool about a job where you get to do that. Instead of running around with a briefcase selling people things they don't need, Amanda gets to help small businesses be better businesses, successful businesses. If that itch to help is in you, you might be the next Amanda, the next person we choose to bring on in our sales and marketing department at Midwest Family Broadcasting. Call Dan and tell him about yourself. 852-2658, 852-2658. Midwest Family Broadcasting. We're an equal opportunity employer.
Service Master of Chippewa Valley is your local expert when it comes to fire and water damage, carpet and air duct cleaning, mold remediation, and trauma. They're when you need them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Trust comes in the yellow truck. Learn more at ServiceMasterChippewaValley.com.
Hi, this is Josh Smith from Union Trailer and Power Equipment. Looking to upgrade your mower this year? Now is the time to upgrade, as we have a large selection of Aaron's and Graylee's zero-turn mowers in stock with some great sale prices along with 0% for 48 months or large cash discount. Get into a new Aaron's zero-turn mower for as little as $92 a month with no money down. Don't forget about our free delivery within 20 miles of Union Trailer and Power Equipment. Hi, this is Josh Smith from Union Trailer and Power Equipment, Mahindra's official tractor of tough. Spring is here, and Mahindra's official tractor of spring savings too. Get great deals on all Mahindra tractors, including 0% interest on select models, or save thousands with cash rebates. Get into a new Mahindra E-Max 20 with loader today with no money down for as little as $185 a month. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough. Hurry into Union Trailer and Power Equipment for heavy-duty savings during the Mahindra Spring Sale. Stop into Union Trailer and Power Equipment today, located right in the Chippewa Valley off Highway 53 at the Melby Street exit.
Quality products, expert service, Union Trailer Sales.
Sports. You love it. We love it. And quite frankly, I don't trust anyone who doesn't love it. Do you?
Is that a serious question?
The Dan Kasper Show.
Summer projects coming up. what's on your to-do list first this year? Well, if I had any say in your to-do list, it would be to update that flooring of yours. Maybe a new carpet in the bedroom, replacing your kitchen floor with some luxury vinyl planks, or maybe some nice tile in the bathroom paint. Just saying, because chances are that you have a room in your home that could use a good floor update. So why not make it easier on yourself with this project and visit our good friends from Carpet City Flooring Center here in Eau Claire? I mean, my own grandma has used them twice in this past year to replace some flooring in her own home. So, if grandma likes them and trusts them, you can too. By the way, grandma's birthday today. Happy birthday, grandma. Top-notch customer service from when you walk into the store to the install team. Add in the best selection and prices, and you've got yourself a home run. So take a look at that to-do list this year and move up replacing that floor in your home. Then head on over to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Chat with the awesome team there to find that perfect floor for your home and your budget. James, I got to admit, man, your awkward breakup story is pretty darn awkward. In 7th grade, a girl came up to my locker angry and told me she was breaking up with me. One problem, didn't even realize we were dating. Had a girlfriend, didn't know it. That's pretty awkward. I don't know if it's Tiger Woods awkward level yet, but yeah, that's pretty weird there, James. But thanks for sharing that with everybody else. We'll get back to some more awkward ones there. I don't know if anybody can match Tiger Woods yet, but hey, never say never. It just takes one. So hit us up with some text, tweets, or comment on the video stream over there too. So got more picks, 2.5. We're setting that line at 2.5 primetime games for the Packers with the schedule coming out on Thursday. But as history has shown over the years, that thing will get leaked out well in advance to Thursday. So that's why we're putting the line at 2.5 with a max of 5 primetime games that teams can get. Where do you think will be how many primetime games do you think initially the Green Bay Packers will get on their schedule? We're setting that line at 2.5, and it's like 50-50. Everybody's going with either 2 or 3. How about you, Joseph? 2 or 3 with that line at 2.5? How many primetime games initially on this upcoming schedule for Green Bay?
Yeah, Green Bay is always a draw. And so I'm going to go with 3 just because of the fact that ratings are always going to be there for Green Bay Packer games. So when it comes to primetime games, it's all about the ratings. It's all about what kind of advertising revenue can they make. So, again, I see 3 as far as the number for Green Bay. And I love this time of year. As a season ticket holder, I was talking to a couple of buddies who I coach with last night. And, by Friday at 5, I'll have locked down my hotel and my dates for this coming season. So, fall gets planned pretty quickly when that regular season schedule comes out.
What are the things or main things you look for when that schedule comes out?
I always break the season down when I first see it into 4 different quadrants. And you look at, okay, how's the first 4 games look, and where's that next 4? And obviously you get the extra game this year, so there's 17. But I always kind of look at it in those quarter types of situations, break down the season. Where can Green Bay realistically go in those 4 games? And so that's kind of my approach that I've always done. I also look at, obviously, where do the NFC North games fall, because those are usually going to, especially later in the year, decide division. And so, yeah, those are a couple of nuances I look for. But again, when you look at the whole schedule, I do like to bite that 17-game schedule down into 4 bites.
Let's talk a little bit about, everybody's favorite R word right now that's going on. I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday. Keyshawn Nixon had the tweet a couple days ago about get this, rebuild stuff off my timeline. Aaron Jones retweeted it. Bakhtiari called it a rebuild and blah, 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 blah. Yesterday I kind of said it just depends on the play. Everybody's going to have their own opinion and thoughts on it. If you're a certain player like Keyshawn Nixon, I view it, Joseph, as he's a guy that can't afford to look at anything as a rebuild.
Right.
Yeah, good season last year, but, 1-year deal. Guys like Bakhtiari and that, they can maybe view it a little bit differently. Coaches, maybe view it differently as well. So, how do you view this upcoming season?
I think the rebuild started previously. I think that whenever Rodgers was going to step down, retire, leave, whatever the case may be, that you're going to have a transition. But I think, when you look at the drafts and you look at the salary cap situation of the Green Bay Packers, I think the rebuild has been a process over the last couple of years because of the fact that look, Devontae Adams gone, and the Packers, as long as Rodgers was playing well, kept on massaging the salary cap to try to get them in a place where they could be competitive year in and year out. And so I don't look at this year as a rebuild. I think ever since Matt LaFleur took over, it was really a rebuild. I think anytime you have a new coach or a new regime come in, I think that starts the rebuild, because you look at what Goody's been able to do in the drafts, and you look at the focus that he's put on, and you look at the rebuilt wide receiver room, and you look at the offensive line depth, and you look at what he's done from an outside edge rusher standpoint. So I really don't look at this year as a rebuild. I look at it. It's a kind of a continuous ebb and flow whenever a new regime takes over. I think when a new regime takes over, you definitely can use that R word. But I think it's a constant process, and whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, rebuild, reload, retool, whatever you want to call it. I think managing expectations this year, I think is going to be the key for Packer fans, because I don't expect this team is going to be a very young team. When you look at how many players are over the age of 28, there's not many. And so you look at the youth on this team, and with youth, you're going to have inexperienced mistakes. All right. You just guys not being in situations. So you're going to have those moments this year as this team starts to grow together. And a lot of these young players start getting that game speed. I don't care who you are. Look at the Green Bay Packers. Look at some of the best Packers. None of them, in their first real couple of years really came out of the chute, whether it be, Aaron Rodgers played well, but he was still 28-13 his first year as a starter, and 6-10 was the win-loss record. Clay Matthews was really a situational guy when he got in there. You look at the wide receivers, Gordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, Greg Jennings, none of them blew the doors off their first couple of years. And so I'm excited to see this team grow. And I think managing expectations is going to be the key, because Packer fans, I think, with Rodgers and any time you had 12 on the field, you felt like you had an opportunity to win. And you just don't have that it factor this year, at least not that you know of yet. And so I think managing expectations from Packer fan standpoint, I think that's the way to look at this year. And one of the things, Captain, I just want to bring this up real quick. Great piece yesterday. And if anybody had a chance to see it, Dan Orlovsky, who I just think is a tremendous talent and should be really, truly an offensive offensive coordinator or quarterback coach. He broke down how this offense with Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love can look. And it was really impressive to see. And it was all about, getting the ball out on time and rhythm and motions and putting people, again, going back to the tenets of this offense that make it exciting. And that's that the offense is supposed to be the star, not the player. And so I'm excited for this year. I am managing my own expectations. I have said if this team goes 7-10 or is right around that 500 mark, but you see signs of improvement with some of the young guys and you see Jordan Love making some wild plays, then I think that the arrow is definitely pointing up. And I know some people are saying, well, listen, all Jordan Love has to do is play better than Aaron Rodgers last year. Rodgers did not have a great season last year, and they were 8-9. So why shouldn't the expectations be if Jordan Love plays better, ergo, therefore, this team, is much better than 8-9? It just doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. And so, again, I think if this team is a 500 team, but you're seeing the signs, I think that's a successful season. Rebuild, reload, whatever you want to call it. I think it just comes down to managing expectations.
It's a unique team. I was kind of talking about it yesterday. Like when I think of a rebuild team, like Carolina, right? You're bringing in a brand new quarterback, you're trading up, you got a new regime coming in, and all that sort of stuff. You look at Green Bay, and it's like, well, on the defensive side, they've got players, they got dudes that you win with now Kenny Clark, Jair, Rashawn Gary, Devondre Campbell, Aaron Jones on the offense, even, offensive line, Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins. Yet then you got the wide receivers and the tight ends where your veterans are like 2 years into the league. It's a very unique makeup of this team. That's where I kind of struggle with that rebuild label too, because you look at it. I mean, mostly the whole defensive side. That's not a rebuild unit. That's a unit that's ready to win right now.
Yeah, and no doubt. And look, 2 years ago, before Bakhtiari with his knee and Elton with his knee, you arguably when you look at you had Elton, you had Bakhtiari, you had Kenny Clark, you had Aaron Jones and Jair at that point, who were probably, if you did a top 100, probably would have fallen somewhere in the top 100 players. And now look, I think Bakhtiari, when healthy, still one of the best left tackles in the league. Elton Jenkins, I think now coming back that second year off the ACL will be much better. Throw, Devondre Campbell in there, who had an all-pro year his first year in Green Bay. And so, yeah, you've got players there. This isn't a team devoid of talent. I think when Brian Gutekunst took over the Green Bay Packers, it was a team pretty close to that rebuild where they just didn't have the talent anymore. And so I think the restocking of the cupboard, I think I'm exactly right there with you. I think there's enough pieces on this team and enough guys who have proven themselves in the NFL to make a run at a successful season, whatever you want to term successful. I agree with you. I mean, there's enough of those guys there. This isn't a team that you got, it's not a bunch of scrubs. It's not like, Shane Belko's coming out with the replacements out there. And so this team has some stars and some guys that are considered blue chip guys. When you break down the team, it really comes down to how many blue chip guys do you have on your side of the ball. And so, yeah, I'm excited for this season. I agree with you. I think the rebuild is an overused term. And again, I think it just comes down to Packer fans managing their own expectations. And I agree with you with Keyshawn Nixon. Keyshawn Nixon's on a 1-year deal. So this is a guy that bounced around the NFL, and he's on a 1-year deal. So he has to look at every year as the year to make it. And so I totally agree. And again, there's not a player out there. And Bakhtiari, I get it on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast talked about this being a rebuild. And I think Bakhtiari probably in a different place than most of the players on that team. But yeah, you've got to go into the season. If you're Keyshawn Nixon, if you're any of these guys, and you got to have the attitude that, look, no, we're going to win games this year. I want my players to have that attitude. I don't want them to basically say, yeah, this is just a rebuild, guys. So, it doesn't matter if we win or lose. So that's not the mentality that you want. So I had zero problem with what Bakhtiari said, especially in the context, because I think it was, if you look at the whole interview, I had zero problem with them. Loved Keyshawn Nixon, what he said, loved Aaron Jones. And look, I think right now, if Jordan Love plays well, and if Joe Barry coordinates well, this team will have some success this year.
Looking at the wide receiver group, Matt LaFleur talked a little bit about it over rookie orientation camp, and maybe changing the tune a little bit, because it wasn't that long ago you heard from Goody and LaFleur both kind of mentioned the need of bringing in a veteran to that group. And LaFleur maybe kind of backtracking a little bit on there. It's kind of just saying, we're going to let these guys play it out, and it's a competitive room. And if at some point, I'm paraphrasing here, but at some point, if we need a veteran, maybe we'll look at it at that point. When you look at this group with this room, Joseph, would you rather have them go out there and get a veteran to kind of be a leader, if you will, in that room? Or do you want to see these young guys kind of play it out and get more reps for these younger guys and grow with Jordan Love?
I think it depends on who the veteran is. And I think if it's, the Sammy Watkins project, and I think Sammy Watkins from an attitude standpoint was great. I just think that he's a dude that can't stay healthy. And so I don't want to see that type of veteran brought in. And again, the post June 1 cuts, there's going to be some guys available. And so it wouldn't bother me at all if Green Bay went out and got a guy. And I don't even have the list in front of me who might be available. But if there's a guy that doesn't have the injury issues that a Sammy Watkins had, I think then you make a run at it. I look at the position and I say probably for me, if you're going to get a veteran in the room, I would probably bring a tight end in. I think that position is so hard in the NFL. The nuances of that position, the running game side of it, the passing game side of it, the shifts and motions that you have. So I would be more concerned with a tight end being in that veteran room than a wide receiver. And look, Bill Huber from SportsIllustrated.com came out and said Green Bay will not be bringing back Mercedes Lewis. So he's off the table. But if there's a guy post June 1 that's had some success in the NFL that you can get on a 1-year deal, I wouldn't mind that at all. Now, again, truthfully, if they don't bring a tight end in, if they don't bring a wide receiver in, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that because, again, you got to let these young kids cook a little bit. But, the other position where they could look at bringing a veteran, and there's still one out there, Adrian Amos, is that safety position. So I would almost put wide receiver as a third position that I would focus on behind safety and tight end.
And does that kind of relate more to, maybe that, with the LaFleur and the Love offense, it's more letting the offense, win games instead of, Aaron Rodgers, the whole connection, letting him do his thing. Does that kind of make it easier, maybe not to have to bring in that veteran wide receiver because now we're scheming plays, we're working within the offense? Do you think that kind of plays into it a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We've seen a hybrid of a Matt LaFleur offense and the traditional West Coast offense that Aaron Rodgers grew up in under Mike McCarthy. And so we've seen that hybrid. And now I think we're really going to see that focus of getting the ball out in rhythm, creating mismatches in the secondary, whether it be through shifts and motions and rubs and those types of things. And so I think you're going to see the true Matt LaFleur offense, which is really going to, when you go back to the West Coast offense is predicated on knowing the whole route tree and the quarterback and the wide receiver being on the same page as far as reading the cornerback. That's really the West Coast offense. When you get into this type of offense, which is going to be much more RPO based and much more motion based. And again, we all know Aaron Rodgers said he wasn't a big motion fan. And so when you get that type of thing, the reason you do motions and shifts, and again, I can speak to this from a high school level because that's what we do with our offense is you create motions and shifts to create space and to create mismatches. And that's what this offense will do. So yeah, I'm seeing a true Matt LaFleur offense. And again, if anybody did not get a chance to see this, look up Dan Orlovsky talking about the Packer offense and Jordan Love because it was really cool. And he went into depth as far as what Jordan Love was seeing last year in that Philly game. And it was good stuff. And I think that's what you're going to see this year out of this Green Bay Packer offense.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch it yesterday too. It is good stuff he just actually retweeted it a few minutes ago too, so it should be fresh on everybody's timelines out there too. So, Joseph, appreciate the time as always, sir. You have yourself a good rest of the week, and we'll catch up again next week, bud.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
You got it. There you go. There's Joe joining us here, talking a little green and gold. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll finish up the second hour before we get to a little Grind My Gears Tuesday, just past 8 o'clock. Get your Grind My Gears in, all right? What's grinding your gears? We want to hear from you. Hit us up with those texts on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line.
Got a take on today's topics but can't call in? Then hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or the text line and let your fingers do the talking.
Get ready to save half with half-off deals. A great way for you to get goods and services that you will love, and you don't have to pay full price. Start saving this Friday, May 11th, with Triple T Tanning Activewear and more, Star Lymph Active Treatment, and Turtle Lake Stay and Play Casino Package. Be ready with your credit or debit card and get ready to save with this week's half-off deals. For more details and to find out about all the savings, just go to aroundthe715.com.
Hunters, are you looking for a brand new firearm to take with you to the woods? Or maybe you want to save a little money and are looking at getting a high quality used firearm? Whatever the case may be, if you're looking for a rifle for, say, deer hunting or shotgun for your turkey hunting adventures, look no further than Tilden Gun. Tilden Gun features a wide selection of new and used firearms. And if you're looking for a particular firearm, Tilden Gun will help you find that firearm for you. And plus, they have a wall of handguns for you to check out as well. And you know you're going to need some ammo, targets, cases, scopes, and other accessories too. Well, Tilden Gun has all the accessories you need to properly outfit your firearm to hit the woods. Tilden Gun has the biggest selection, all at the best prices in the Chippewa Valley. So here's what you do. You could visit tildengun.com to see what all Tilden Gun has to offer. And you can stop by Tilden Gun and check out their amazing shop and see what they all have in store. Visit Tilden Gun today at 12427 98th Avenue, Chippewa Falls.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. The Army National Guard has taught me the value of showing respect to those I come in contact with each day. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed and accomplish the mission. Plus, the Army National Guard education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Service Master of Chippewa Valley is your local expert when it comes to fire and water damage, carpet and air duct cleaning, mold remediation, and trauma. They're when you need them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Trust comes in the yellow truck. Learn more at ServiceMasterChippewaValley.com.
Are you looking to purchase a new vehicle with that tax return this year? Hey, it sounds like you need to make a quick stop to Toyson Ford. From the moment you step into their showroom, you're more than just a customer. You're an honored guest. Toyson Ford's only aim is to serve your needs to the fullest, and the team at Toyson Ford will go the extra mile to provide you with compelling options for new and used vehicle shopping. Purchasing a vehicle, that can be a big decision, and Toyson Ford knows that. So make it easier with the help from Toyson Ford.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Upgrade your home with new outlets from Legrand, including new USB outlets. Charge more of your devices without the need for bulky AC adapters. Pick up a Legrand USB outlet for just $29.99 after 11% off right now at Menards. Good through May 14th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
If you were to listen to Dan Kasper nonstop around the clock for a solid month, you'd become the king of all sports fans, desired by beautiful women, and rich beyond your dreams. I think. Try it and let's see. The Dan Kasper Show.
Just want to throw another reminder to you all that today at Hy-Vee, 20-cent fuel saver on every $20 spent. 20 cents you're going to be saving. Earn a 20-cent fuel saver with every $20 you spend on grocery. That's 20 cents per gallon, people. It's a heck of a deal going on right now. Today, Tuesday, over at Hy-Vee. So if you want to load up on some Dan Good Burgers or some of the brats from Mike's Star Market, Snack Sticks, or other groceries, today's the day to make a stop over at Hy-Vee and take advantage of that amazing fuel saver deal that they got going on Tuesday, just today, not tomorrow. Got to be today over at our good friends from Hy-Vee. All right, we got a few minutes to the top. We're going to catch up with RJ Cardinal coming up at about 8:20. We'll get to a little Grind My Gears Tuesday coming up just past 8 o'clock. What's grinding your gears, people? Hit us up. We got a couple. Well, we'll get to them possibly. Some one I can't really say on the air, but hey, if you got it off your chest, all right, thumbs up. Okay, appreciate that. So, but we'll get to that just past 8 o'clock here before we get to RJ Cardinal. Don't forget to keep sending in how you think, how many primetime games Green Bay is going to get. We set that line at 2.5, and it's still, I would say it's about 50-50. We got a bunch of picks coming in at 2 or 3. So it's right there. You know, it will be interesting to see if Green Bay is a draw. Green Bay is a big brand, but also Aaron Rodgers is a big brand too. So it'll be interesting to see if they still give Green Bay the max of 5 initially on that schedule release, or maybe start it off a little bit lower. And then if Green Bay is having a solid year, maybe they flex them and could have more games at the back half of the schedule. But yeah, we'll see. Also, we're asking too, what are you going to be looking for when that schedule gets released? Supposed to officially on Thursday, but as we know, history has proven over the years, it'll get leaked well before then. So that's why we're asking it today. So we'll get back to some more of your responses coming up a little bit later on. We're also going to get back to some more baseball talk coming up just past 8 o'clock. Brewers taking on the Dodgers for Game 2 tonight. Brew Crew getting a big win last night. Looked like it was going to be a pitcher's duel for, well, at least halfway through the game up until the 5th there. And finally, Joey Weimer hitting a 3-run shot, and the Brewers adding some more insurance runs in the 7th. They're putting up 6 in the 7th to get the 9-3 victory. Freddie Peralta, another quality start for Freddie, going 6 innings, 1 earned run, just giving up 3 hits as well. So another quality start for Freddie Peralta, picking up his 4th win on the season. Can Eric Lauer match that tonight for the Brewers, going up against Noah Syndergaard, who's had a little bit of a rough start so far this year? But your picks, your predictions, you want to play along with us, picking some baseball games, you can do that too. How do you think this thing is going to play out? NBA playoffs last night continued, and we got a couple teams now on the verge of clinching spots in their conference finals. The Lakers getting the victory, now hold a 3-1 series lead against Golden State. Miami beating New York. The 8 seed Miami now just 1 win away from advancing to the conference finals. We've got Boston and Philly both tied at 2 apiece. They're in action tonight, along with Denver and Phoenix also in action tonight. Besides division teams, who's like the one team that you just can't root for? Like you just, I'm sorry, you know, like maybe that's what grinds your gears. Like I can't, like, you know, maybe for some hoops fans it's the Lakers. You know, if you're a Bucks fan, but if you're a Bucks fan, but maybe you just can't stand like LeBron or the Lakers, so he's just like, I can't. Packers fans, I'm sure a lot will probably pick the Cowboys. You know, if we take away division teams, because every Packers fan is going to say like Minnesota or Chicago. Like, who's the one team? Or like, I was thinking about this too. Like, say you're entering the draft, the NFL draft, and you're going to pull an Eli Manning or a John Elway, and like, nah, I will not play for that team. They hold the number 1 pick. I am not playing for them though. Nope. No. Trade me, or I will go play a different sport, or I'm going to go play for the XFL, USFL, or whatever. I will not play for that team. Who's just that? Besides division teams, is there a team out there for any sport that you just like, I can't stand it? Can't stand it. We'll never play for them. Kind of another fun little thing out there. So I was reading, you know, like, I'd be curious, like, not really curious, but Reed, so the rookie wide receiver for Green Bay, he grew up a Bears fan. He did grow up a Bears fan. He's from Illinois and such. And it's a little different because, okay, now you're in the NFL. It's like, dude, you're just in the NFL. You don't have to worry about playing for your main division rival or anything like that. But some people can just maybe kind of turn that off a little bit. Like, could I play for the Vikings? Could I wear that purple and play in a stadium with that horn going off every single time, it seems like? I don't know if I could. Yeah, if I was getting paid millions, I could. No doubt about it. So hit us up with those texts, 715-830-1912. So we'll get to some. I'm sure we'll have some good responses over there. But we'll kick off the 8 o'clock hour with a little Grind My Gears Tuesday. What's grinding your gears? Get it off your chest. Share it with the rest of the class. I'll go through mine coming up here in just a couple minutes, too. Then we got RJ Cardinal. We'll catch up on some of the latest stuff surrounding Badger sports down in Madison. What's the good word on the streets in Madtown? We got, volleyball released their non-conference schedule. Taking a look at maybe that's anything kind of standing out with the non-conference schedule potentially. Got Baylor on there, Tennessee's on there, Arizona's on there, Miami also on there, Florida. So, all right, 2 in, 1 more to go. Stick around. We'll be back in just a couple minutes after these quick news updates.
WAYY Eau Claire, W286CK Eau Claire, Sports Talk 105.1 and 790 AM. From the 715 Newsroom, it's Morgan McCarthy with your news on Sports Talk 105.1.
Well, good morning. We begin with headlines and updates from the St. Croix County area. The man suspected of killing a deputy was a convicted rapist and registered sex offender with a history of violence. Prison officials in Minnesota yesterday said 34-year-old Jeremiah Johnson was out on parole for a 2016 kidnapping and rape conviction when police say he gunned down St. Croix County Deputy Katie Lysing. Johnson had a long criminal history, including a stabbing in 2007 and numerous fights while in prison. Investigators say he shot and killed Deputy Lysing during a drunk driving stop Saturday and is believed to have then shot himself about an hour later. Funeral arrangements for Deputy Lysing pending. Expected to get more details later today. Yesterday's house explosion being blamed on gas as firefighters were on scene afternoon about 1 o'clock on the city's south side. No one home there, no one hurt, but firefighters and crewmen from Excel said there was a buildup of combustible gas in the house. The explosion knocked the windows of the home out and did about $100,000 in damage. No one, however, saying just where that gas leak did come from. Well, around the table and to the courts, former Eau Claire County DA Gary King no longer facing federal civil rights complaint. It was a federal judge that dismissed the lawsuit filed by the victim witness coordinator for the county during King's time as DA, as she claimed he drunkenly sexually harassed her. The dismissal comes after a meeting back in March that reportedly ended with a settlement. No one, however, saying just how much that settlement was. Well, if you happen to file taxes with TurboTax, they could be sending you money. So if you used TurboTax to file income taxes a couple of years ago, you could expect a check from the state of Wisconsin. Look at it a little bit closer here. Attorney General Josh Call said Wisconsin will get just over $2.4 million from a $141 million multi-state settlement with TurboTax. More than 81,000 people here in Scotty can claim a piece of the settlement. The checks will be about $30 each, but you're eligible for your refund if you paid TurboTax to file taxes in 2016, 17, or 18. You should have been eligible for the IRS's free filer program. To find more details online, when you easy click, it's 715newsroom.com. And the happiest place on earth is getting rid of reservation requirements. Let's go to the Sunshine State.
Guests will no longer need a reservation for date-based tickets at Disney World in Orlando thanks to their own feedback. That'll take effect at the beginning of 2024. Visitors will only need to buy a ticket for a specific date, but won't need to make reservations for any of the specific parks. That's in addition to the new rule that annual pass holders can visit any of Disney's Orlando theme parks after 2 p.m. without a reservation. I'm Rick Hoschel.
You know, it's really nice. Casper's kind of loosened up around here lately, and I can come in the studio now.
After 2 p.m. without a reservation.
For Sports Talk 105.1, I'm Morgan McCarthy.
Today, we kickstart a shift in our weather pattern. Now, we may be starting off with some cloud cover, but we'll have some peaks of sunshine later on. A stray shower is also possible, but temperatures climbing to the low 70s. Tonight, a few more clouds start to stream in, eventually resulting in another chance at some showers dipping to the mid-50s. More sunshine in store for tomorrow, climbing to the mid to upper 70s, and a chance at hitting 80 on Thursday. I'm Skywarn 13 meteorologist Mike D'Andrea.
Want to stop engine problems before they start? Pick up a can of Seafoam motor treatment. Seafoam helps engines start easier, run smoother, and last longer. Just pour it in your fuel tank. Seafoam is available where automotive products are sold.
Let me ask you something. Did you name your firstborn after a football player?
Hell yes.
Did you spend your honeymoon going to a football game?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Do you spend most of your free time hanging out in your man cave?
Yes, yes, yes.
If you answered yes to all the above, then you, my friend, are a serious sports fan just like Dan.
Yes.
This is exactly where you belong. Sports talking and BSing is what we do best.
What? Did we just become friends? Yep.
So rise and grind, people, because the Dan Kasper Show is on the air.
You serious, Clark?
Right now.
Showtime. Woo.
All right, here we go. Third and final hour. Already on this Tuesday morning of May 9th. Big thanks to everybody who's been sending over your comments, your thoughts, your analysis, your picks. Keep them coming, whether it's on that texting line, that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line. Twitter, find me over there at DANKASPER, Facebook.com. Don't forget YouTube as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel on there. Let's get some more subscribers on there. Also, a quick reminder, if you ever miss parts of the episode, we've got the Man Cave podcast. That parts of the episodes or parts of the show are up there, along with some new stuff on every episode of the Man Cave podcast, brought to you by Toyson Ford, our good friends from Toyson Ford in Hy-Vee, available on your favorite podcasting platform. Speaking of the podcast, too, we've got so if you, depending on what podcasting platform you listen to, whether it's like Apple or Spotify, if you look at the podcast description, there's a link on there for you to leave a voice message. It's not a phone number. You don't have to dial anything. You click on that link or tap on that link if you're on your phone, and then it comes up like, with like a little tap button on there where you can record a message. So record a message, give me your thoughts, give me your comments. If you have a question for a little Q&A, do it up, and then I'm going to put you on the pod, okay? I'm looking. I want to hear from you all right? So get that link on our podcast description, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, okay? So let's that should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get some more to hear from some of you, okay? And tell a friend. Be a friend, tell a friend about the podcast. Let's make that one of the top podcasts in the world. You want to know a weird nugget about the Man Cave podcast right now? You want to know what country we're apparently very popular in? Let me see if here we go. We're apparently very popular in. I have to find it then. My phone is being really weird. Like, it's not even like sending texts and all that sort of stuff. It's a country in Africa that we're very popular in, apparently. So let's try to get it more popular. No, hey, shout out to that country in Africa, but let's try to get it up here in the good old USA too. So, all right. Before we get to RJ here in a little bit, it's time for a little grind my gears.
What's getting you upset these days? Is it Dan? Well, then keep it to yourself. If it's something else, then get it off your chest. It's Grind My Gears Tuesday.
We will go to Surveyor. DK, you know what grinds my gears? Instagram home improvement influencers. More importantly, my wife watching them and thinking she can do it. Then the next thing you know, I'm running to Menards and building a bed frame for my daughter until 10 o'clock. Now, I don't know this whole backstory here, Sam. And I don't know if it was actually Instagram or not. But I will say this. I'm going to, again, I don't know the whole context. I don't know the entire story here. There's some good stuff on YouTube. or Instagram or whatever. Like I've YouTubed some stuff to figure out or how to do stuff. I'm not the handiest man in the world. In fact, I'm far from it. I've occasionally YouTube something to figure out how to do something on my own. It's worked. Some is still remaining to be seen here, but I'm going to back up your wife here a little bit, Sir Verrett. Now, again, I don't know the whole thing. I don't know the whole story, but there's some good ones out there on YouTube or in this case, I guess Instagram. Now, I will say I don't go on Instagram to look for that. I'll YouTube like, oh gosh, I don't even know. Like garbage disposal. I know one thing I did. This was a while ago. Like we were having some issues with the garbage disposal. YouTubed it, figured it out, got it fixed. Boom. That sort of thing. So I'll have her back there a little bit, man. Just a little bit. Again, not knowing the whole story or such, but let's now unless you tell me a little bit more about this, maybe I'll change my mind a little bit. But you know what grinds my gears? I'm gonna go back to the whole schedule release thing. It grinds my gears a little bit that they've got the schedule done, right? We know that the schedule is done. And they're going to announce this thing on Thursday. It's going to be all leaked beforehand. They're making this big hoopla. They're going to do the show, schedule release show, that sort of thing. Great. Awesome. More people are going to tune in, more money, click stuff, whatever. It's out there. It's probably the worst. It's the easiest thing to leak out there for a bunch of different reasons. Hotels, that's probably a big one out there. It's other businesses, whatever. Once you got it done, just release the thing. Okay, we don't need a show for it. We don't need a reveal show for it when we already flipping know what the schedule's going to be. Because the writers are going to get it out. There's actually, if you're on Twitter, Kyle, who's over in Green Bay, they call him the mayor of Green Bay. I know Justice knows him. I think he went to school with them. He's is on par with that stuff. He's on that's his thing. When that thing comes out, he nails it pretty well. It's like when you got the schedule out, don't hold on to it. If you don't, and I get it. It's all about, the NFL's got to make everything about them, right? Hey, we're going to do a show on this. We're going to do a reveal party on this. We're going to make this more profitable this way, programming, more attention for us. I get it. Marketing 101. But come on. How much do you really lose in marketing and publicity and all that if you just flip and release it right away? As soon as it's done, send it to the teams and release that thing. And then let the floodgates open for people making their plans on when they should, reserve the hotels and make their vacations or maybe even take off from work. Because I'll tell you, I'm one of those too. I've turned in some vacation, but I save some vacation days because I don't like taking off on a Friday during football season or a Monday during football season. I don't like that. I got to be in to talk about it. I got to be in to talk about the game on Friday and Monday. Whether it's previewing it on a Friday or recapping it on a Monday, I got to be in. So I'll tell you, I'm holding on to a bunch of vacation days right now, all based off of the release of the NFL schedule. So, if they got to buy, let's say they got to buy in October or wherever. Be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I could take a couple of days off then and sit in a tree stand for a couple of days during the week. All right, let's do it up. Okay, their buy isn't until whenever. All right, maybe I'll use up a couple of days in summer, hang out with the kid or something like that. Just release it once you get it done. And why does it always take this long? I get it. It's the NFL trying to make it a 365 every day talking point about them. They've got to have something every month of the season, it seems like. Break it down. January, there's playoffs. February, there's a Super Bowl. End of February to March, it's combine, pro days. April's a draft. May now is the schedule release. June 1st cut date. It's almost like, the post-June 1st. I guess I might be grasping at straws on that one a little bit, but it's kind of another wave of potentially free agency. July, training camp opens. August, preseason games. September, kickoff. Literally, the NFL's got something every single month of the season. I am a huge football fan, but sometimes enough is enough. And just to make my life a little bit easier, just release the schedule earlier, please. Okay? A little bit, please. Just begging you. Not going to listen to me, but that's kind of my grandma gears. So, Jake from State Farm, Grandma Gears raining every weekend. How the heck is a guy supposed to shingle his garage when he gets done with work at 7 o'clock during the week, and then it rains on the weekends? I'm literally going to have to be put in a crazy house if this keeps up. I hear you too, man. Like, I wanted to get some work done on the land the last couple weekends, whether it's been like snow or rain in this instance. It's because it's been too soggy now. I haven't been able to get nearly as many things that I wanted done on the land. Side note, I want to know, since we're talking since I just kind of brought it up, any other hunters out there? I'm curious to know, like, if you know this off the top of your head, and this might be a question for Jake on Thursday. And I don't know if you'll know it, maybe a wildlife biologist question, but this has happened to me for the first time ever. I've had found two deceased deer in the front part of our land. Now, one was more recently, like it was after that latest snowstorm we had, right in the front. When I say the front, that's like where the cabin is and all that. But last weekend, I went back up there, and I was getting the boat ready, and we got this like carport and such, and I walked around it. A deer had walked into our carport behind the boat, laid down, passed away. That one had been there for a while. So I guess my question, if anybody else listening, any hunters and all that too, is like, have you noticed like how hard the winter has been on maybe the deer herd in your area? Because I've never had this before, like two of them up front, like looking to seek shelter and then passing away. I'm just curious if anybody else has heard that or experienced it or anything like that. But yeah, not the kind of sight I want to see walking around, boat and turn the corner around where the motor's at and boom, it's right there. Probably why the coyotes are showing up on the trail cameras quite a bit too. So, but no, I agree with you on that one too, Jake from State Farm. Let's catch up on a couple other texts here. We got a couple people saying, I think the Packers are going to go over with that 2.5 line and go with 4. We got Matt saying, I think the Packers will have 4 primetime games and they will get one flexed into primetime at the back end of this season. So I'm assuming you think that maybe they will be in contention for a playoff spot if they get flexed into a postseason spot. Love the optimism, man. This one's from Greg. I think the Packers will get the max of 5 so far this year, but a lot of them will be scheduled at the back end of the year and potentially flexed out if the Packers don't have a good season. Going with that route. That was something I kind of wondered too. Will the Packers, get a lot of them, but maybe it's flexed in the back half? Or maybe it's like evenly divided. Maybe there's a couple right away in the beginning because it's the Packers brand. It's going to, people are going to be interested in Packers games right away. 1, because it's the Packers brand, but 2, it's like, how good is Jordan Love? First glimpse of Jordan Love. I honestly feel like if there is going to be, say, 4, a couple of them are going to be early in the season because there's going to be that unknown. There's going to be that intrigue level surrounding Jordan Love. That's kind of how I feel, but I could be wrong. And then maybe they save a couple in the back end. They'll originally have it scheduled and then potentially flex it out if there's something better at that point. We'll see. That's kind of where my head's at this point, but never know. All right, before we get to RJ here, let's chat a little Brewers. Brewers tonight looking to repeat what they did last night. 9-3 victory. Freddie Peralta, another quality start for him. 6 innings. giving up 1 earned run just on 3 hits. Joey Weimer, 4 RBIs. Actually had a ball hit at almost 109 miles per hour. Hardest hit ball in play. It was 109 miles per hour. Good day for the youngster. This year he's probably, I think, has played more than what the Brewers initially expected right away. Maybe a little bit more than what he initially expected right away with the big league club. Getting promoted after opening day when Luis Urias hurt his hamstring. And now with Garrett Mitchell, with him being out for the foreseeable future, I mean, I would imagine he's probably going to be with the ball club throughout the rest of the season. He's showcased his speed, especially on the defensive end, and last night showcased, when he's on, what he can do at the plate. So good night for Joey Weimer. Good night for Freddie Peralta. Who's going to be those players that step up tonight to help out the Brew Crew? Eric Lauer on the mound. Can the Brewers put up some runs and support Eric Lauer? And hopefully they can put up some runs before the 5th inning like they did last night. Now, luckily, Freddie Peralta was kind of able to hold it down there and until the Brewers got some runs up there and then got more insurance runs in the 6th. In the 7th when they got 6 runs in the 7th there. Noah Syndergaard is the other pitcher on the mound for the Brewers a long time. Mets pitcher, spent a little bit with the Angels too, and now with the Dodgers. He's off to a little bit of a rough start so far for the Dodgers. But again, first pitch, 6:40 tonight. Brewers win. They secure a series win and potentially could be going for a sweep. An early game tomorrow, 12:40 first pitch. And then an off day for the Brewers before they welcome the Kansas City Royals, who they just had Lorenzo Cain throwing up the first pitch in KC. Did you guys see that? It was really cool. It was like he had his kids. It was kind of like a relay from the outfield to Cain, who was on the pitching mound. So it was like relay throws. And then it got to Cain, and then he threw out the first pitch. We know Cain is he's all about his kids. It was awesome. It was really cool to see. And then see him get his family involved like that too. So, but first things first, take care of business tonight. Eric Lauer on the mound, get that 4th win, secure a series win, and then we can focus on tomorrow's day game. That Willie Adames also hit another dinger last night, and Tyrone Taylor too. So, all right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll talk some Badgers with Mr. R.J. Cardinal from the Zone in Madison. What's the good word going down in Madtown? We'll find out coming up in just a couple minutes.
The Dan Kasper Show will be right back.
Summer projects are coming up. What's on your to-do list first this year? Well, if I had any say in your to-do list, it would be to update that flooring of yours. Maybe a new carpet in the bedroom, replacing your kitchen floor with some luxury vinyl planks, or some nice tile in the bathroom. Hey, I'm just saying, chances are that you have a room in your house that could use a good floor update. So why not make it easier on yourself with this project and visit my friends from Carpet City Flooring Center? I mean, my own grandma has used them twice in the past year to replace some flooring in her own home. So if my grandma likes them and trusts them, you can too. So why does grandma like them so much though? It's the customer service. Top-notch customer service from when you walk into the store to the install team. Add in the best selection and prices and you have a home run. So take a look at that to-do list this year and move up replacing that floor in your home. Then head to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire and chat with the awesome team there to find that perfect floor for your home and your budget. Because like my own grandma says to me all the time, because grandma says so.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. The Army National Guard has taught me the value of showing respect to those I come in contact with each day. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed and accomplish the mission. Plus, the Army National Guard education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn how you too can live and serve part-time, close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
You know our partners, TireRack.com, fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, Tire Decision Guide. They test the tires. They've got their own test track where they push tires to the limit. Yeah, those guys. You want a quiet tire with great traction, comfortable ride. Use their results to make an informed choice. They sell only the best, like the full lineup of Goodyear tires. Go to TireRack.com/Dan. See for yourself. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Progressive covers pets in our auto policy at no extra charge. Now, let's see what your dog has to say.
As a dog, I think Progressive's auto pet policies. Oh, what is that? That's just my tail. Weird. Anyway, Progressive protects. There it is again. See? This is why I need protection. I'm so distracted. Nope, that is still my tail.
Progressive Auto Insurance covers pets for up to $1,000 in a car accident at no extra charge. And we think your dog would say that's great, too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Intelligence runs in the family. Innovation runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The 2023 Mercedes-Benz SUV family. Their only competition is each other. Each of the impressive models features world-class innovations ranging from MBUX voice-activated assistance technology to safety features like attention assist that can drowsiness and alert you when it's time to take a break. The SUVs, including the sleek GLB with room to seat up to 7, the category-leading GLE, the GLS is one of the smartest SUVs on the road, the capable and stylish GLC, and the striking yet robust GLA, each model packed with cutting-edge technology that every driver deserves. Most families have one star. This family has a full team of them. The 2023 Mercedes-Benz family of SUVs. Extraordinary is one test drive away. Learn more at MBUSA.com. That's MBUSA.com.
The Shoe Doctor is known for quality footwear. Remember, the Shoe Doctor can keep your feet comfortable during all the different outdoor weather and activities here in the Chippewa Valley. Work boots, casual shoes, sandals, and more. From brands you trust like Keen, Merrill, Chaco, and Dansko, and that's just to name a few. Located on Claremont Avenue in Eau Claire, you can also visit them online at ShoeDoctorFootwear.com. The Shoe Doctor, quality footwear for work, sport, and fun.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone can call or text 988 or chat via 988wisconsin.org to get connected to a trained Lifeline counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you are concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
His words can move you. Seriously, they could pick you up and carry you to the other side of the room. Or maybe that was the poltergeist again.
They're here.
The Dan Kasper Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
How have you been getting ready for the golf season this year? Maybe hitting the range to hit some bucket of balls, working on putting, working on your putting game at the putting green, perhaps some chipping in the backyard? Well, one important aspect of making sure your golf game is up to par is by making that appointment with Shepke Chiropractic. You want to make sure you get your back and the rest of your body right when you're hitting the courses this year. And a really cool feature with Shepke Chiropractic is that they are also Titleist Performance Institute certified. So, for example, if you're looking to get chiropractic care, but you also want a swing analysis on your golf swing, hey, they offer that. Just visit ShepkeChiropractic.com to learn a little bit more. That's, again, ShepkeChiropractic.com. Your journey to a healthier, more fulfilling life starts here, and an improvement in your golf game. Make your appointment at Shepke Chiropractic today. And speaking of golf, don't forget, if you head to Sports Talk 1051.com right now, we've opened up a few slots for the third annual Kasper Classic because the last couple of years we've sold out. So early bird registration right now for both sessions, the morning tee time and the afternoon tee time, August 4th Just head to sportstalk1051.com and reserve your 2-person team right now before it gets sold out. Bottom of the hour here, talking some Badgers with RJ Cardinal. And RJ, I see, like DraftKings and some odds makers are already kind of coming out with their over-under for the college football season. DraftKings for the Big Ten, they've got Michigan and Ohio State both at 10.5, Penn State at 9.5. And then in comes Wisconsin at number 9. And this is with, first-year head coach Luke Fickell, new staff, kind of a new, offensive system, defense, and all that sort of stuff. What is a realistic expectation, in your opinion, for this Badger football team this year, first year under a new program, new head coach, and Luke Fickell?
I mean, it sounds a little weird, but when you're looking at the schedule, even when we were talking last year, it's a schedule that sets up very well in terms of cross-division games, where your biggest one is Ohio State, and you avoid Michigan and Penn State and anybody else you could say would be a challenge. So looking at this schedule coming up, the 9 wins, 8.5 wins that you see somewhere, I would say if you can get that 8.5, hammer the over. Mm-hmm. 9.5, 10, you could probably be looking at pushing. Well, clearly not the 9.5, but I think 9, you'd be looking at more, maybe along the lines of a push, because there's an uncertainty of what we're actually going to see, but still your schedule should play out to the point where you're still competing for a Big Ten West, and that would more than likely put you at 9 wins or more. So there's some places that are already putting their projections out, and the only loss that's done projected by number crunching is the Ohio State game.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, are we, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of Badger fans obviously have a lot of excitement and expectations, with the transfer portal, these kids coming in, recruiting class, obviously with a new coaching staff. Are we almost, the reason I ask you is like, what's a realistic expectation? Are we maybe setting ourselves up a little too high potentially, with the first year under Luke Fickell, or does that maybe not? Because I'm thinking like maybe in the professional NFL landscape, or maybe that doesn't matter so much in like college football, where you can change a program maybe within a year. Do you think that's possible with this Badger football team, that it's not going to be a couple years thing? It could be something that we see immediate improvement in year one.
I think there could be immediate improvement in year one, but if we're talking of we're going to beat Ohio State in year one, I don't think that's the case. I think you'll see a renewed enthusiasm. It tends to happen. I mean, it's a bad example, mostly because we're seeing where they are now, but look at Michigan State. Mel Tucker gets there, hits the transfer portal hard, and they had great success. Then they whiffed on the transfer portal, and some of the guys they were bringing in weren't up to the standards that, was able to compete in the Big Ten. Yeah, they had a lot of injuries, and now they have players hitting the transfer portal themselves and looking like that $100 million extension or $90 million extension for $10 million a year they gave Tucker might have been a mistake, but we'll see what happens there. But still, it looks, with the offensive skill positions Wisconsin has added, the offense should be better than where we saw it. It'll just be something where I think the offensive players that have been here need to catch up to the kind of tempo, because in talking to some of our guys here at the station who are down at practices every day in the spring, it was evident that the offensive line getting a little tired towards the end of it there. But I mean, it's the first kind of few months of them learning how to do things at a more frantic pace. So hopefully, a more off-season conditioning, the way Fickle wants it, will take shape, and the fall camp will help that as well. And we'll see a more fast-paced, conditioned team, hopefully, and mostly from that offensive line side of things. Other than that, I mean, it's a team where I think they'll be, solely because of the schedule, set up to look successful, and I think we should have our hopes to be in the mix for the Big Ten West again.
Yeah, it was ESPN's Football Power Index also projecting the Badgers to have a good season. I think 20th nationally, they've got them right there. And I know how much you love preseason rankings, by the way. So
I love them.
Yep. On there, they said the Badgers have at least a 53% chance to win all but one of their regular season games. I wonder if that one is the Ohio State game. I would imagine. Probably on their
I'd assume so.
On there. So, when you look at it, is it fair to say that maybe in the initial parts it's going to be very Braylon Allen heavy, run game heavy, until maybe they start to figure things out on a more consistent basis with the passing game and the offense, RJ?
I really feel that this is going to be an offense that's going to be, the passing game opens up the running game. Now, yeah, I mean, we could absolutely see the running game being here in the first few weeks. It'll be interesting to see what they do against Washington State, because, I mean, heck, Washington State, when we played them, stacked the box and made sure they tried to make Mertz beat them, and they won 17-14, So it'll be interesting to see as we travel out to Pullman, that game plan, especially with the new style of offense. Will we see a similar matchup to where Washington State doesn't trust the brand new pass, says, yeah, let that beat us? Because, I mean, the way Longo's offense is supposed to work now is you don't have to have the best players. You just get the players you have in one-on-one situations to where they can beat the people they're going up against. Now, hopefully against a less loaded box, you see a Braylon Allen break 100. You see a Ches Malusi break 100 against a team that held them to under 100 yards in the previous season. So it'll be interesting to see how teams we've matched up before now attack this Wisconsin offense. And I think you kind of have to put it on not just video, or not just rely on people using North Carolina footage to say this is the kind of stuff they like running. At this point, you need to actually run it in game. So I think we will see the new offense early and often against Buffalo, against Washington State, and against Georgia State or Georgia Southern, one of the two. But we'll have to see it well before Big Ten play, and I think we'll see it in those first 3 weeks. It'll just be interesting to see how they do implement it.
Mm-hmm. RJ Cardinal, our Badger analyst, joining us here this morning. Switching over quickly to men's basketball, Jacoby Neath entering the transfer portal. So if my math is correct, RJ, does that mean that the Badgers have an extra scholarship available potentially for another transfer portal player to come over to Wisconsin?
I believe so. I'm under the impression that they are. At least that's what everything I've read makes it seem like. So I think they actually have 2 more people they can add now, or maybe it's just the one, because Neath opens up a scholarship, but it technically didn't count against things because of COVID. I'm really not sure, but it seems like, yes, that is the case. They have another scholarship they can offer somebody.
Interesting, yeah, because I know when they picked up the 2 guards, and I know one of them decommitted, but it was kind of that awkward phase, is like, how do you fit that player in, because they don't have any scholarships, and I don't know if that was part of the decision why he decommitted or not, but that now they've got that opening to kind of go out there and find somebody else.
yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what they can get, or maybe it's another a late freshman signing. I don't know how that works. Sometimes coaching changes happen, and guys ask for release from their letter of intent, and who knows? But yeah, I think it'll be more along the lines of a transfer portal player here. So hopefully we can grab somebody here and call the roster full before you head into the season.
Right. Volleyball wise, RJ, we've been talking about schedules this morning, and I know they released their non-conference schedule. And you got some exciting teams on here. I mean, they're going up against Florida again this year. They've got Marquette, who's a top team in the country. Miami, Tennessee is also on there. Arizona. I mean, this is a program, Coach Kelly over there. Obviously, we know national champions from a couple years ago and such. But this is probably one of the if you want to call it a benefit or not, but winning a national championship, being a powerhouse program, you're going to be going up against a lot of other powerhouse programs and marquee teams here. And looking at this schedule, this is what it looks like the Badger volleyball team has a lot of really interesting non-conference games on the schedule for this volleyball team.
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to put teams on there who are competitive year in, year out in making the NCAA tournament and all that. And it's one of those where I think in order to start being like one of those automatic kind of qualifiers, you already play in probably the best volleyball conference in the country, but you add some of these prominent like conference schools as well. Yeah, you try to pad your stats with more power conference games, I guess. And yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But still, it's one of those where you really like Wisconsin's chances against teams. Last year they faltered a little bit against Florida. I think that was a loss when they played at the Kohl Center.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes this year. But yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it could hurt. It could not hurt. It's one of those things like I'm not too sure. I guess it all just depends on how it plays out. But putting some ranked teams onto your schedule never really hurts until the losses happen. But yeah, it's exciting to see, and hopefully that turns into something that Kelly Sheffield's always talked about, and getting women's sports actually onto people's television, so the sport can continue the skyrocketing growth we've seen it happen over the last few seasons.
And it seems like, Sheffield isn't shy away from scheduling these non-conference ones because, as you mentioned, the Big Ten is probably the best conference in the country when it comes to volleyball. So, I mean, he probably wouldn't be, you wouldn't be criticized too much if he scheduled a lot of non-conference teams that maybe weren't powerhouses, but he's kind of going, it seems like, a different approach, scheduling these non-conference power teams to get ready for a deep Big Ten conference play too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I said too, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have some known school names on your schedule for TV purposes. But yeah, those, like, I think it's like Baylor and TCU in back-to-back days. Big 12 is a pretty good conference. And like you said, Arizona's in there. Pac-12 is pretty good. It's historically great volleyball conferences that they're putting on their schedule. And yeah, it's not like SEC football where in the middle of the season we're going to schedule a FCS school.
Right.
So well, who knows? That still could happen, but I don't know too many you can't really call them non-money generating anymore, but I mean, we know the distinction between football, basketball, and every other sport at a school,
right.
Where you see just random non-conference games sprinkled into the conference schedule. So, yeah, it's one of those. I think it's strategy to start being able to have the discussion of why games versus top 10, top 20 teams aren't on TV. Why does somebody have to stream this or buy extra things to watch volleyball when we're actively trying to give you great matchups that people are then purposefully looking the other way at to not put on TV.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I wanted to ask you, so softball, I saw the Badger women's softball team. They got the 5th seed in the Big Ten conference tournament. Top 4 all get by. So Wisconsin's taking on Illinois tomorrow. If they win, they then take on the 4th seed in Nebraska. What is the sense like when it comes to the softball program from Badger fans down in Madison? Like, we were just talking about volleyball and how, Coach Kelly Sheffield, the last few years, how he's really risen up that program, national champions and such. What's the sentiment, or what's the talk like surrounding this Badger softball team down in Madison?
Really, it's one of those of optimism. Like, you're 12-10 in conference, but it's one of the tougher conferences out there. And they swept Iowa this weekend to be able to move into the 5th seed. If they would have had another game versus a couple weeks ago, they had a game get canceled and it wasn't made up. So they had like one last game, but they could have tied Nebraska if they won that game at 13-10 in the conference, and been maybe the 4th seed. I don't know how the tiebreakers work out there, but still, they were. They worked themselves into the 5th seed. So no matter what, as long as you take care of business against Illinois in game 1, you're going to end up facing Nebraska anyway. So it's one of optimism. Attendance has been going up steadily every year over at the Goodman Diamond. So it's really starting to get the kind of support volleyball did when they first started being more consistent. And they've made a couple of NCAA tournament appearances. So it's one of those. And they always gotten sent out to Oregon. So hopefully, you can play well enough to stay closer to home. And, there was a little run there where if it wasn't like they were the first team eliminated, they were making it to the final weekend before they got eliminated. So hopefully you can get over that super regional hump and start trying to make those appearances in the softball World Series.
Yeah, it was last year. I think they won a couple games in the NCAA tournament before falling to, I believe it was Florida last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah. So, RJ, appreciate the time as always, buddy. Always love chatting with you. You have a good rest of your week, and we'll catch up with you again next week, bud.
Yeah, you too. I'm a little upset we don't have the Ghost logo yet for the Kasper Classic.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about that last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll do like almost like a swinging friar, just like a ghost swinging a club.
Ooh. All right. We might have to put that out there to people to come up. Best design wins something. How about that?
Oh, I like it.
All right.
I like it. As long as I can get a T-shirt with the logo on it, I'm okay.
Ooh, now we got T-shirts coming. I like your idea. You need to work in marketing, man. I like it. RJ, we'll talk to you soon, buddy. Appreciate the time as always.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you later.
You got it. There you go, RJ Cardinal. I like it. Anybody design that ghost hitting a golf or swinging a golf club? Anybody up for that? Maybe making it into a tee. Do we sell it at the Kasper? Oh, now we're cooking with something. I like it. All right, let's take a quick break. And then we're going to close up shop on this Tuesday morning. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
You're listening to the Dan Kasper Show.
How have you been getting ready for the golf season this year? Heading to the range and hitting a bucket of balls? Maybe working on your putting on that putting green that you have in the basement, or maybe doing some chipping in the backyard. Now, we could tell the evidence is there with all the divots, but one important aspect of making sure your golf game is up to par this year, see what I did there, is by making that appointment with Shepke Chiropractic. So you want to make sure that you get your back and the rest of your body right when you're hitting the courses this season, because we don't want to hear that the reason your scores aren't great this year is because your back is too tight. And a really cool feature with Shepke Chiropractic is that they are also Titleist Performance Institute certified. So for example, if you're looking to get chiropractic care done, but you also want a swing analysis on your golf swing, they offer that. To learn more and to see the different packages available, just visit ShepkeChiropractic.com. Your journey to a healthier, more fulfilling life starts here, and an improvement in your golf game. Make your appointment at Shepke Chiropractic today.
She tossed the keys on the kitchen table and sank down on the couch in satisfaction. A sip of wine, and Amanda knew she had a good day. She used her noodle and helped a small business grow. A small business run by a small family with small kids that can go to college one day. That's what Amanda had a hand in. And with a quiet smile on her face, she knows she gets to do that all over again tomorrow. There's something kind of cool about a job where you get to do that. Instead of running around with a briefcase selling people things they don't need, Amanda gets to help small businesses be better businesses, successful businesses. If that itch to help is in you, you might be the next Amanda, the next person we choose to bring on in our sales and marketing department at Midwest Family Broadcasting. Call Dan and tell him about yourself. 852-2658, 852-2658. Midwest Family Broadcasting. We're an equal opportunity employer.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. The Army National Guard has taught me the value of showing respect to those I come in contact with each day. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed and accomplish the mission. Plus, the Army National Guard education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone can call or text 988 or chat via 988wisconsin.org to get connected to a trained Lifeline counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you are concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Auto King, best quality and best prices. AutoKingEC.com.
Want to stop engine problems before they start? Pick up a can of Seafoam motor treatment. Seafoam helps engines start easier, run smoother, and last longer. Just pour it in your fuel tank. Seafoam is available where automotive products are sold.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. And with the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through June, purchase online with Beacon Pro Plus, web or app, and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
Not only can you listen to your favorite radio show in the world, but now you can watch why everyone says Dan has a face for radio. Watch the Dan Kasper Show live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
Hey, you got a couple days left. We're taking some nominations. What should we name Joe's go-to drink at Cabin Coffee? So, Joe, as you hear from our conversations, one of the owners at Cabin Coffee, former Badger offensive lineman. He has his go-to beverage over there at Cabin Coffee, and we need to name that thing, okay? So people can go over there and say, hey, I'll have the whatever. So give us your best name suggestions for what we should call Joe's go-to coffee. We've got a couple of days left here. Then I'm going to pass off the nominations to him on Thursday. And he's going to give it to his team over there, and they're going to narrow it down to some finalists. And then we'll put it out to a vote out there, too. So big thanks to everybody who's already sent some over. So I got some creative, got some fun ones out there. That's the best part of it all. So also, if you're looking for maybe some Mother's Day gifts coming up this weekend, Cabin Coffee in Altoona. You can get some of their new mugs, some of their new travel mugs, freshly roasted coffee bags, or even a gift card. Because why? And if maybe not a coffee fan, hey, their smoothies are fantastic. They got their lunch menu, breakfast menu, all good stuff over there at Cabin Coffee of Altoona. So, all right, we just got a few minutes to the top. Big thanks to everybody. This was a lot of fun this morning. So big thanks to everybody for sending over some messages, whether it was on Twitter handle at DANKSPER, Facebook.com/Kasper Sports, or on the video stream, Shoe Doctors Bullpen texting line 715-830-1912. So thanks to everybody. I love reading your thoughts and comments and analysis. So keep that up. Appreciate that. So a lot of fun here this morning. We got Brewers tonight, 6:40 first pitch. You can catch that game at 105.1 FM and 790 AM. Eric Lauer on the mound. Can the Brewers get the win and secure a series win before getaway day tomorrow? Actually, it'll be an off day for the Brewers on Thursday then, but getaway day for the Dodgers. Also on the schedule for tonight, NBA playoffs continuing. Got some pivotal game 5s on the schedule. Celtics, Sixers, Suns, Nuggets, all tied at 2 apiece. Pivotal game 5. Who's going to take, or who's going to get that win and then be just one win away from advancing to the conference finals? Hockey-wise, Stanley Cup, Vegas won last night. Tonight, we've got Carolina and New Jersey. Carolina holding on to a 2-1 series lead. And our Seattle Kraken back at it tonight, holding on to a 2-1 series lead over the Stars. Can they get another win and be one win away from continuing their run through the postseason? Yes, they are our Seattle Kraken, because if you are a Wild fan, you do not like the Stars, right? You don't like the Stars, so you're rooting against them. So we're Kraken fans. I asked that question, like, is there a team outside of your division teams, that you just can't stand? Or like, I was thinking about this the other day, like if you were to pull a Eli Manning or a John Elway, you're like, no, I ain't getting drafted by that team. Who would that be? We had a lot of people texting in saying any team from California. So I don't know if it's just vendetta against California teams, but we had one growing up near Madison, any Chicago sports team. So that was also popular. And a couple of you said that. A couple of you did say Minnesota. But again, if I said to take away your division opponents, take away your division rivals, who would it be? Did have a few Dallas ones. New York was a popular one over there too. So not really any specific teams. It didn't seem. It just, you mostly went with the cities, on there. All right, coming up tomorrow, we'll do another edition of Showdown, the second round. We'll continue with another matchup. What year was the best year in sports, movies, and music and such? So we'll continue that. We'll do a little sports vigilante tomorrow as well. We might play a little bench start cut tomorrow too. We might do a little bench start cut, and then we'll find out if any of the NFL schedule has been leaked. Any of the games out there. We know it's officially going to drop Thursday, but as history has always proven, when it comes to the NFL schedule, it gets leaked fully, like hours before it's announced on one of their many announcement shows. It'll be leak throughout the day on Thursday, maybe even a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow. So if anything does get leaked out there, we will we'll kind of talk about it and such too. And then, of course, recapping the Brewers game from tonight. Hopefully it'll be about a win, and then looking ahead to game 3, the day game against the Dodgers. Wade Miley going to be on the mound going up against Clayton Kershaw. Brewers struggling against left-handed pitching again this year, kind of like what they were last year. Clayton Kershaw is a left-handed pitcher. Are the Brewers going to be able to put up enough runs with Wade Miley on the mound and going up against Clayton Kershaw? Definitely, that offense needs to step it up going up against left-handed pitching. Get it done. No more excuses. Get it done. Hopefully the offense can help out Eric Lauer tonight as well too. Don't just give him a few more runs earlier in the game. Don't wait until the 5th to put him up like you did last night for Freddie Peralta. Just saying. Okay. Just saying. So, all right. Shot clock is going to cut me off here in just a few seconds here, so I can't really get into anything else. Again, big thanks to everybody who chimed in, whether it was on that texting line or tweeting or Facebook or on the video stream. Emails, even got a few of those as well. So keep them coming. Keep them coming every single morning. Love getting your analysis. Big thanks to RJ. I think he might have sparked an idea here with the golf thing. I think he might have sparked an idea. I have to let it marinate, but I like it. I like it. Send me those ghost logos golfing, and then we'll go from there. Okay. DP and the Danettes, they're up next. Have yourself a fantastic Tuesday. We'll be back at it again tomorrow morning, just past 6 o'clock. We'll talk to you then.
You're listening to the Dan Patrick Show on